Good evening and welcome into the Budweiser Bull Pen for tonight's matchup between the Amarillo Wranglers and the Lone Star Brahmas, two South Division foes going head-to-head here tonight. Two of the hottest teams in the league going head-to-head tonight, and two of the top teams in the South Division going head-to-head tonight. Hi everybody, I'm Chiarenza, bringing you all the action from downtown Amarillo, where looks like we've got a very exciting matchup between the Wranglers and the Brahmas, one that I've had circled on my calendar ever since about a month into the season, as it's shaping up for these two teams to be some of the top contenders in the division. The Wranglers are coming off of a trip to New Mexico, where they picked up 3 out of 4 standings points against the New Mexico Ice Wolves, and the Brahmas are coming off of a 5-1 thumping against the El Paso Rhinos, where they took down the second best team in the division by that final score of 5-1. So the Brahmas are red hot, as are the Wranglers. Wranglers in their last 10 games have a record of 7-2-1. Brahmas just a little bit better with a record of 8-2 over their last 10. So something's got to give tonight, as two South Division teams that are red hot come together here tonight in what should be a very spirited affair. If tonight is anything like what we've seen between the Wranglers and the Brahmas in the past, we know that things could get chippy. We know that scoring may be at a premium, and looks like most times when these teams get together, usually goaltending is a big factor, as last time it was Connor McDonough and Deves Rolovs doing battle between the pipes. They were fantastic in the last 2 games that these two played against each other at NYTEX Sports Center earlier on in the year. And so looks like tonight we're going to have another goaltending duel, as it will be Connor McDonough in goal for the Wranglers and Deves Rolovs for the Brahmas. So let's get to our starting lineups here tonight. For the visiting Lone Star Brahmas, they'll start with their top line of number 58, Matthias Borak on the left wing. The Czech forward is having himself a pretty solid start to the year. In 22 games played, he's got 6 goals, 6 assists for 12 points. He's a +3 on the season. He'll be on that left wing on that top line, getting the starter tonight. Centering that line is Ivan Zadvornyuk, the star forward for the Lone Star Brahmas, wearing number 7. He'll center that line. Zadvornyuk has been on fire this season. Seems like every week he's in the mix for South Division Player of the Week. And on the season, Zadvornyuk has 6 goals, 12 assists for 18 points in 21 games. And as I mentioned before, he was Star of the Week for that weekend at the end of November to start November, where we put on quite a showing. So he's on a tear to start the year. He'll center that line, and on his right wing, number 88, Jacob McDonald, the native of Fort Worth, Texas, will round out that top line for Lone Star, getting the start here tonight. On defense, number 64, Alex Keskentepe, the Atlanta native, on that left side. And to his right, number 21, Bryce Ingles, rounding out that decor, that defensive line for the Wranglers. And as we mentioned before, Deves Rolovs gets the start in goal tonight for Lone Star. He was red hot the last time the Wranglers saw him. He's got a record of 11-5 on the year. And in 16 games played, he's got a goals against average of 1.63 and a .924 save percentage with 1 shutout on the season. He's having himself quite the campaign so far, as the Wranglers will look to crack him here tonight, as that'll round out the starting lineup for the visiting Lone Star Brahmas. For the Wranglers, they will start with that second line that's been consistent all season long. Topi Pukkanen, the Finnish forward for the Wranglers, wearing number 17, will be on that left wing side. Pukkanen leads the Wranglers in points this season so far, as in 19 games played, he's got 9 goals, 10 assists for 19 points. And he's a +2 on the year. Topi Pukkanen has been excellent for the Wranglers this season. He'll be on that left wing on that starting line for the Wranglers. Centering that line, number 89, Roman Zapp, scored an awesome goal in that first game against New Mexico, where he and Alex Papasparopoulos connected for a bang-bang play that was the fifth best play throughout the entire league for last weekend. So Roman Zapp will center that line for the Wranglers. He's had himself quite the campaign so far, as in 19 games played, he's got 17 points, almost a point-per-game player for the Wranglers. He'll center that line, and to his right, we talked about him a little bit before, as he was the one who sauced that pass over to Zapp on that goal that I was just talking about. Alex Papasparopoulos, wearing number 77, will be on that right wing. The Canadian forward, also himself having quite the campaign. He really left his mark in the first game of the season, where he had 2 goals in that overtime win against the Janesville Jets in the season opener. He's got 15 points in 19 games. And he will round out that second line for the Wranglers. On defense, Amarillo will start with the tandem of Henry McRoberts on the left side. The former Brahma will be paired up with number 2, Kyle DeMarco, one of the longest tenured Wranglers, where number 2 will be towards his right to start out that D pairing. We talked about him before. Number 1 in goal, Connor McDonough will get the start here tonight. Had that last game against New Mexico off where Luca Gans got the start for Amarillo. Stopped 26 of 28 shots in that overtime loss against New Mexico last Saturday. It was Gans' best showing of the season, as Wranglers just weren't able to come away with a win that evening. That was his best outing of the year. And Connor McDonough the night before in the 3-2 win stopped 22 of 24 against the Ice Wolves. McDonough on the season in 14 games played has a record of 9-4-1, a 2.35 goals against average, and a .908 save percentage. He will get the start in net for the Wranglers. And it seems like McDonough has been the workhorse for the Wranglers all season long and kind of became a bit of a folk hero after the Wranglers' run to the playoffs last season, where Wranglers went on that big win streak. McDonough had the 4 shutouts to help the Wranglers climb into the postseason, edging out the New Mexico Ice Wolves by 1 point to climb into the playoffs. Unfortunately, McDonough's 10-game lease had expired, so he wasn't able to play in the postseason, or else the Wranglers thought that they really had a chance to make some noise, ended up falling to the defending champions, or I guess the eventual champions in the Oklahoma Warriors in round 1. But McDonough's back for another year, and so far he's having a very solid start to the season, and the Wranglers will rely on him heavily as the season wears on. Tonight will be his 15th start of the season. For the Wranglers, this is game number 20 on the year, so you think about the season by the conclusion of tonight being a third of the way over. It's one of those blink and you'll miss it kind of things where it's hard for me to believe that Thanksgiving's next week and the season is already nearing its midpoint stage. It's baffling, man. It really gets me every time. Try not to think about it and just enjoy it and soak it all in. And that's what we'll do tonight as the Wranglers meet the Brahmas on NATV. And I'd like to say hello to our YouTube audience listening in on our YouTube audio feed. I'd like to say hello to all the Brahmas fans listening here tonight, as this is our only broadcast on either side. I'd like to say a big hello to Chad over from the Brahmas. Unfortunately didn't make the trip, but it is always nice to see and hear from Chad with the Brahmas. And so it should be a very interesting contest here tonight. To me, it seems like this is one of those games where it could be a race to 3. We know that the Wranglers and the Brahmas play similar systems. The Brahmas this season have done a very good job of scoring goals and keeping the puck out of their own net. Usually when it comes to Lone Star, if you're the opponent, shots are at a premium. The Brahmas do an excellent job of limiting their opposition shots. And that was the case when the Wranglers met Lone Star last time, as it seemed like shots were at a premium. You weren't going to get those grade A scoring chances, so the Brahmas, a well-oiled defensive machine, aren't going to let that happen. But the thing that really surprised me when looking at the Brahmas this week is that their goal differential is actually quite impressive. It's best in the South Division by a wide margin. The Brahmas have a plus 35 goal differential, 77 goals for on the year, 42 against. That's quite impressive. So the Brahmas are a well-oiled machine, as they can score, but they can also keep the puck out of their own net. And so I think the key here tonight for the Wranglers is just really dictate the terms of the neutral zone, and you got to have possession over the Brahmas. If you let the Lone Star Brahmas have possession throughout the course of the game, they're one of those teams that will wear you down in your own zone, kind of just suffocate you and dictate terms through the neutral zone. So for the Wranglers here tonight, I think whoever really dictates the play through the center ice zone is going to be the team that comes away with the win here tonight. And again, I mentioned possession. Whichever team has the majority of possession time, I believe that's the team that's going to come away with the victory here this evening. So makes for a very interesting affair. Of course, by now we all should know about the Anderson and Wildfong connection. Dan Wildfong, the head coach of the Lone Star Brahmas. Ryan Anderson, the head coach of the Amarillo Wranglers. It's Anderson's first year behind the bench for Amarillo after he spent last couple of years with Lone Star. And so you could say he's a member of that Wildfong coaching tree. And as a result of that, there's a lot of similarities in the way that the Wranglers play to the Brahmas. And so makes for quite the interesting matchup here tonight. between Amarillo and Lone Star as the Wranglers come out to take the ice. Looks like we've got a choir down there singing the national anthem. It looks like that's coming up next. And it looks like before we get to all that, they've rolled out the red carpet. Maybe a little crooked there, but looks like we've got the Chick-fil-A cow out there. Is that cow going to drop the puck? I know it is a Chick-fil-A Family Friday where I believe for $49 you can get 4 tickets and 4 Chick-fil-A vouchers. Pretty darn good deal if you ask me. I think the Wranglers are going to do that again throughout the course of the season. So if you're in the area, check that out. As the two captains meet at center ice, Ray Murakami for Lone Star, Ben Ivey, captain of the Wranglers. As they drop that puck, the cow did indeed drop it, as he will waddle off on that red carpet. And we will get to the national anthem, and so we'll step aside for just a few moments, and after that we'll have first period puck drop from Amarillo. This is the Wranglers Hockey Network on NATV and YouTube.
This is Colin Doherty, and you're listening to Wranglers Hockey on YouTube.
Welcome back to downtown Amarillo, where we've got the preliminaries out of the way. They'll roll up the red carpet, and we are just moments away from first period puck drop between the Wranglers and the Brahmas. Hi, everybody. I'm Guy Chiarenza, bringing you the action here tonight between two of the South Division's top teams. And the Brahmas are one of those teams where you got to tip your cap to them. Seems like they're always in the mix every single year. This year seems no different. They're currently standing at the top of the South Division standings with a record of 15-6-0-1, 31 points on the year, led by Dan Wildfong, the head coach and GM, and the assistant coach is Logan Murphy. For the Wranglers, they are led by first-year head coach Ryan Anderson and his assistant coach Connor Yanni, both in their first year behind the bench for the Amarillo Wranglers, and they've led them to a record of 11-6-2 on the year. Amarillo with 24 points on the year, which is good enough for third place in the South Division, as the Brahmas are coming off of a 5-1 win against the El Paso Rhinos. Wranglers picked up 3 out of 4 standing points against El Paso last weekend, or excuse me, against New Mexico last weekend, as that last game ended in a 3-2 overtime loss where Yusaku Ando scored the overtime winner. So lean in, take the draw, and away we go from the bullpen. As Lone Star will chip it in towards the far side wall. Wranglers try and work it back out of their own zone. Lone Star pressuring here. They'll get it down low. Racing after it is Kyle DeMarco for the Wranglers. He'll push it up ahead for Alex Papaspropoulos, who exits his own zone. As we get an early whistle here, looks like just 22 seconds into the contest, as the puck goes out of play. As the Wranglers put that third line out on the ice. One of the Wranglers' best checking lines this season, although they've been known to score from time to time, headlined by number 27 in white, Connor McNaughton. More on him in a second as the Wranglers win that neutral zone draw. Shot from Stepanek is blocked out in front by Atiri. As it takes a funny hop off the stanchion. Taking a spill was Steve's roll-offs. I don't think he was expecting that puck to kind of carry him off the glass the way that it did. This building's funny like that sometimes as Gerhard will chip it down low. Wranglers get a partial change. On comes Trey Williams and Nolan Gagnon. Meanwhile, battle for it in the far corner of the Brahmas zone. Ends up going below the goal line. Well, Justin Kerr tries to fish it out. Wranglers in the fray, trying to get a piece of that puck. Eventually they do. Gerhard backhands it towards the far corner, but it's scooped up by Lone Star, and then the Wranglers will steal it away. It's Connor McNaughton below the goal line, trying to muscle his way around a defender. Wranglers applying the heat here on the forecheck. Atiri from the comfort of below his own goal line will pick his head up and send it along the left wing side. Nolan Gagnon for the Wranglers was recently named the assistant captain here earlier today. He's now got that A on his sweater, as he's having quite the season so far in his first year in the Wranglers uniform. Down deep, McDonald trying to fish the puck away. Gets caught up in the skates of a Brahma. As center it towards the front. Lone Star picks it off. Left point, Williams throws it off the end wall. Ben Ivey couldn't corral that puck, and the Brahmas will come away with it. It's Brock James centering it for Masick. Across for a shot. Goes off the end wall. McDonough might have gotten a piece of it. As Ben Ivey along the far side wall works up ahead for McDonald, who gains center red, and then we'll just dump it in where Rolovs can slow it down. 2 minutes gone in the first period. Thank you for joining us here on NATV or our YouTube audio stream. Should be an exciting matchup here tonight, so get a snack, a beverage of your choice, and make sure you're all comfortable and ready to go as the Brahmas and the Wranglers do battle here tonight. Lone Star centers to the neutral zone, goes off a stick. After it is Avon Pyle. Shadowing him is Colin Doherty, longtime Wrangler defenseman. Puck squeaks out towards the far side wall. Bergeron backs it down low. Doherty with the puck in his skates. As Lone Star tries to weasel it away. Max Hamstad gets it to the left point for Emmons, who throws it on goal. That's an easy save for Connor McDonough, as he'll hold it with 17:21 to go in the first. Afterwards, we see that chippiness that is just so South Division. I mean, you really can't go a game without any of that in the South Division, and really is to be expected. They do call it the Dirty South for a reason. And we expect throughout the course of this game that tempers will flare, and we will get that nastiness. It's just customary around here. As Ivan Zabranyuk will lean in to take the draw against Roman Zapp. He'll be on the far circle of the Wrangler zone as you see it on NATV. As off that draw comes to the wall. McDonald dumps it down low. That's number 88 for Lone Star, Jacob McDonald, not to be confused with Jack McDonald on the Wranglers, no relation. As Amarillo gets it back out to center ice. Roman Zapp chasing after it, slides it to Pukkanen, and he'll drop it down low where Rolovs will keep it moving along to the near side wall. Pukkanen gets it to the point for McRoberts, but has to backtrack in the neutral zone as it came out of the zone. Jeffers fires it from center ice on goal, where Rolovs will freeze it up with 16:50 remaining in the first. This is the third meeting of the season between the Wranglers and the Brahmas. First two outings were over at NYTEX Sports Center, and they both ended up going the Brahmas' way, as Lone Star leads the season series by a record of 2-0. Wranglers looking to get their first win against the Brahmas here tonight. As Connor McNaughton leans in to take the offensive zone draw, he wins it, gets it to Gerhard, and a quick shot goes off the end glass. It'll be scooped up by Lone Star, trying to get it out of their own zone. They do, but it's quickly picked up by Stepanek. Now backtrack of the Jeffers, who gets dumped by Kerr. Wranglers in the neutral zone, puck ping-ponging around, comes to McRoberts, the former Brahma, as he spent part of last season with Lone Star in the Texas Junior Brahmas. As Lone Star back out at center ice, gets its pocket picked by Gerhard. Racing Gerhard, one of the Wranglers' best forecheckers this season, has become a staple of that third line with McNaughton and Stepanek. He lifts it in. Puck is picked up by Brock James. He turns it over at center. Jack Ivey backtracks to Gagnon. Throws a little hip fake and sends it his left wing side for Trey Williams. Ahead is Jack Ivey along the left wing wall, trying to corral it with his skate. It looks like he's lost his stick. Wranglers fired it in deep as Lone Star picks it up, sends it back out to center. Charlie Masick handles the puck, but he turns it over quickly to Trey Williams. Up ahead, left side, Ben Ivey to the slot for Jack Ivey. He'll shoot! Save made by Rolovs. Steve Roloff being tested here early on by Jack Ivey. Shot there is blocked by Williams. Shot was taken by Brock James, standout forward for Lone Star. As puck will roll back in towards the Wranglers zone, it'll be handled by Nolan Gagnon. I mentioned before earlier today that A added to his sweater joins the leadership group of Ben Ivey, the captain, and Kyle DeMarco, the alternate captain. Some people call it assistant, some people call it alternate. I've always heard alternate, but coach said it's assistant, so we're going to go with assistant here tonight. He gets that A on his sweater as the puck goes out of play with 15-17 to go in the first. And the coach is really with high praise for Nolan Gagnon. And this is a guy that really, throughout training camp, throughout the preseason, early stages of the season, really performed quite well. He's got 14 points on the year, 2 goals, 12 assists. His 12 assists lead the team, so he's really become a standout puck-moving defenseman for the Wranglers. And really earned high praise of the coaches, and because of that, and his leadership abilities, got that A on his sweater this season. Wranglers dump it in, goes along to the near side wall. Picked up by Chinchikov, sends it down deep. After it is Jacob Miller, but we get a whistle there. With a little under 5 minutes gone in the first period. Looks like we're going to have our first penalty of the night. As we await the official call, going into the box for Lone Star is number 10. Looks like it's going to be 2 minutes for interference. So the Wranglers will head to the power play. So climbing into the box with no name on the back of his jersey, number 10, Max Hamstead for Lone Star. He'll serve 2 minutes, and the Wranglers will head to the power play. Wrangler power play sitting at a 15.7 success rate. As they were on a tear a couple games ago, but they're ice cold in their last 3. Scoreless in those games. Papastropoulos from the point, centering pass, fanned in on Zap for the one-timer. Zadvernyuk will carry it out to his own blue line, drop it back for Keskentepi. Brahmas will cycle the puck around a bit, killing some time. Zadvernyuk will carry it over the red line, and now Wranglers blue. Tries to sachet by the defense of Jeffers, and he gets stood up there. Wranglers pick up the puck, left side. It's Alex Papastropoulos. Goes across for McNaughton to the circle. Holds up, finds Jeffers right point, down low to McNaughton. Up top to Jeffers once more. Left side, Papastropoulos to the line. Jeffers, Zap, far side wall, down low. Wranglers get it back up. Jeffers with a blast, and it goes wide. At the line, Jeffers again. Tries to go to his right for Zap. Defensive stick gets in the way. Good play there by Ivan Zadvernyuk. And the Brahmas will clear. Both teams getting some fresh bodies out on the ice here as we're nearing the midway point of the Wrangler power play. Exactly 1 minute to go on the man advantage for Amarillo. Gagnon will flip it into the offensive zone. Might have hit Brock James. It skitters towards the Brahmas, and they will get it back out to center, where Ben Ivey will handle it. The captain slides it to Gagnon as he will backpedal into the comfort of his own zone, pick his head up, and look for an avenue to outlet the puck. Gains center red, drops it off. Ben Ivey, right side, Jack Ivey. Spins and gets it to McDonald, tries to flip it towards the slot. Corralled by Ben Ivey, tried to bat it into the goal. Just didn't get a good enough piece of it. Right point, Gagnon tries to go back to Ben Ivey. Pass is intercepted by Atiri, ping-ponging around down below the goal line. As it'll be picked up by Atiri, and in open ice he will backhand it towards the point. Round by the Wranglers, never exited the zone. Right side, Ben Ivey throws it towards the slot pad, saved by Rolovs. Puck rolls to Pukkanen. Battle for it there along the far corner of the Wranglers zone. They'll fish it out, get it right point for Gagnon. Across, handled by Doherty. Down low, looking for McDonald, glanced off his stick. We're back to 5-on-5, and Lone Star will pick up the loose puck, and they will work it out of their own zone. Gagnon throws a check on Kerr at center ice as the Wranglers regain possession. Left wing breakout, glances off the stick of Jacob Miller. The Wranglers will give chase, but the Brahmas, having none of it, center it back out to the neutral zone, where the Wranglers will play it right back to Rolovs. 12:37 to go in period 1. Anthony Capello at center ice loses the puck. Jacob Miller was in the area. As Lone Star back out at center ice. Will dump it in, Justin Kerr. Gets it below the goal line. Now across to the left point for Keskentepi. Across, right point, point to point. Center for Kerr for a shot. Pad save by McDonough. As Kerr turns and dumps it in once more. As The Brahmas get a wholesale change. Stretch pass up ahead is intercepted there by the Brahmas. Move in, and Charlie Masick was looking to take a shot, and he got dumped down to the ice by Kyle DeMarco. As left wing, Wranglers looking to get out of their own zone. Chinchikov will send it back out to the red line. And Brahmas will fire it back in deep. Talk about puck possession and how much it'll mean to both teams this evening. It seems like both teams are trading possession here in the early stages of the first period. Emmons will dump it diagonally towards the near side corner. That's good enough for an icing, as the officials will deem that Henry McRoberts won that race. And so it'll be an offensive zone draw for the Wranglers with 11:35 to go in the first. Shots are tied, 3 apiece. As seems like it's been a back and forth affair so far here in the first period. Connor McNaughton leaning in to take the draw for the Wranglers. He's been excellent this season. He's on pace to shatter his NAHL career records this season. As McNaughton, in 19 games, has 7 goals, 6 assists for 13 points. As Wranglers win the draw, left point McRoberts backhands it to Stepanek. He'll throw it off the near side wall for McNaughton, who chops it down low. Garrison Gerhardt trying to go after it, but he was held up by Eisenberg. Wranglers at that left point hold it in again. Good play by McRoberts as the Wranglers throw it on goal, in and out of the glove of Roloffs. And it's pinballing around in the paint, and Lone Star is able to come away with it as it's hoisted high and up into the air, batted down by McRoberts at center ice, and that's going to be a hand pass on the Wranglers with 11:05 to go in the first. Scoreless game so far. Wranglers lead the shot count 4-3, as we'll head to our first media timeout this evening. We'll be back in just a few moments on NATV and YouTube.
This is Colin Doherty, and you're listening to Wranglers Hockey on YouTube.
Welcome back to Amarillo, where it's a scoreless game, but both teams knocking on the door here in those last few sequences. As I think the biggest test of the game so far was a Jack Ivey shot on Deves Roloffs. Roloffs was able to make the save. Watch for him this evening, as he's been solid so far to start the season. As looks like we're going to have a neutral zone draw here, across from the Wranglers bench on the near side of the neutral zone. Draw is won by Amarillo. We'll get it to Gagnon. Finds his D partner Trey Williams, and up the left wing wall, it'll go back down to Lone Star ice. It'll be an icing on the Wranglers. 10:57 to go in the first. Looks like Brahmas getting fresh men out on the ice for the Wranglers. As we see it right now, looks like they got Papaspropoulos, Zapp, and Pukkanen out there with Williams and Gagnon. Justin Kerr will take this draw for Lone Star. Off that draw, Kerr chases after, gets it left point for Atiri. Tries to slide by Pukkanen, and he does. Gets it to the half wall for Kerr. Justin Kerr banks it off the far side wall. He was looking for Atiri, but pass didn't have enough steam on it, and the Wranglers forced the Brahmas back out to their own zone. Turnover at center ice, picked up by Papaspropoulos. Gets it to Gagnon, gains center red, and he'll just whip it down into Brahma territory, where it's met by Topi Pukkanen along the near side wall. A couple of Brahmas converge on him. Getting some help from Roman Zapp, as he got a puck battle there in that half wall, the near side. Everybody trying to get a piece of that puck, and eventually squeaks free, where it's picked up by Owen Kerr. No relation to Justin Kerr. And he will dump it in where McDonough will play it. Center ice, Roman Zapp handles it, backhands it for Puukkonen. Gains center red, now Brahmas blue. Puukkonen on his backhand, gets directed toward the corner. As bodies converge there. Ingles is able to fish it out and send it to Capello. Right wing attack here for the Brahmas into Amarillo territory. Capello moving with speed. McDonald make that 88, not 89. As he moved in on McDonough, was looking to take a shot, wasn't able to rip it away. Puck comes to Jack McDonald. He will dump it in as he's looking to go on the forecheck for the Wranglers. Brahmas exchange possession with the Wranglers here. Now it's DeMarco moving up along the right side wall. Goes into Brahma territory, and we get a whistle with 9:27 to go in the first. Still a scoreless game. Shots are still 4-3. Looks like this draw is going to be to the right of Connor McDonough in the far circle of the Wranglers zone. Looks like Ben Ivy's going to take it for Amarillo. Bergeron for Lone Star. Bergeron, one of the assistant captains for the Brahmas this season. It's off that draw. Lone Star wins it. Left point, Emmons throws it on goal, and a save made by McDonough. And after the whistle, we get a skirmish here at the between the circles. It looked like the Wranglers took offense to that little shot that McDonough took after swallowing up that puck. Came courtesy of Max Hamstead. Wranglers coming into tonight's game pretty solid at home throughout the course of this season, have a record of 7-2-1, although a little bit of a misleading stat. Some of those games were played at the NHL Showcase where the Wranglers were the designated home team, but still an impressive feat nonetheless. Seems like they've had their way in this barn. As draw is directed below the goal line. TJ Ritchie, the Ohio native, will swing it out left side, goes off a skate. Brahmas are able to keep it in. Turn it back over to Ritchie. This time he throws it to Jeffers to his right. Drew Jeffers, the former Colorado Grit, will send it up ahead looking for Luke Morris, but another stoppage here as the puck goes out of play with 9:06 to go in the first. We're going to have a neutral zone draw right in front of the Brahmas bench. Give a lot of credit to Dan Wildfong and Logan Murphy, as they've got the Brahmas off to a hot start to the year. First place in the South Division. Looks like they're the team to beat so far in the South. It'll be a center ice draw right on the logo. Zapp wins it. Gagnon tries to chip it up ahead. Goes off the body of Charlie Masick. Williams racing after the puck. Gets it to his left for Puukkonen. And he'll dump it in and give chase. Is below the goal line. Puukkonen trying to throw a hit there and get the puck back, but Lone Star is able to slide away from the pressure. Get it back out towards the Amarillo zone. Puck goes into Lone Star territory. Looks like we've got another icing with 8:41 to go in the first. Shots are now tied up at 4 as we're over the midway point of the first period. Talked about it in the open in the pregame show. Seems like one of those games where scoring may be at a premium and very well could be a race to 3. Although history says if it's a one-goal game, 1 or 2-goal game, the Wranglers are in pretty good position to win those sorts of games, as their record is very impressive when it comes down to those very tight games. As the Wranglers this season are 7-1-2 in one-goal games. Left wing side, Puukkonen gets tied up there by Atiri. Good defensive play as Lone Star gets it back out to center ice. Owen Kerr settles it down and it drifts off his stick to Gagnon. Williams finds Puukkonen in the neutral zone. Tries to shimmy his way around Justin Kerr, but it's tied up at the blue line. Wranglers have to retreat. Amarillo will dump it in, and that'll be another icing with 8:08 to go in the first. So the Wranglers, all those forwards and skaters that were out there on that last sequence when the icing was called, had to stay back out there. So the Wranglers get those guys back out on the ice. Looks like there's a bit of a dispute over by the Wranglers bench as to who was on and who was off, as Zapp has to stay on. Doherty goes to the bench. Well, no, it looks like Doherty will stay out there, and Gagnon will come off. So now that they've got all that sorted out, it'll be McDonald taking the draw for Lone Star, Zapp for Amarillo. Comes to Zavernyuk, and a quick shot goes off a skate and wide of the goal. Near side wall. Zavernyuk has it once more to the line, looking for Ingles. As Lone Star looking to control it in the Wrangler zone, and they do. Below the goal line, it's McDonald. Quickly contested there by Doherty. Zavernyuk sends it to the right point. Backhanded down low by Keskintepi. As Colin Doherty picks it up, looks over his shoulder, throws it up ahead, looking for Papaspropoulos. It'll glance off his stick and go into Brahma territory. From center, Brahmas hoisted in. McDonough out to play it, chops it off the end wall to DeMarco. The Wranglers work it to the far side wall. Keskintepi back down deep, goes off the wall, takes a funny hop. McDonough couldn't corral it. Bergeron centering pass is broken up by Amarillo, and off to the races is Connor McNaughton. Gains center red, and he'll dump it in and give hot pursuit. As Wranglers on the forecheck try and steal it away. Brahmas are able to escape any more danger and exit back out the center. Keskintepi enters the offensive zone. And the Brahmas are a step offside. 7:06 to go in period one. Scoreless game, but you know what? This is one of those games where I kind of predicted that coming into this one. Shots are going to be at a premium. Scoring is going to be at a premium. And usually in games like that, it's whoever wins in the special teams department usually is the team that comes away with the victory. Wranglers are 0 for 1 on the power play so far. Brahmas are yet to have the man advantage. It'll be another icing on the Wranglers here with exactly 7 minutes remaining in the first. Big night here at the bullpen tomorrow night, where the Wranglers are going to be celebrating women's hockey. I believe a lot of women's hockey teams in the area, girls hockey, will all be in attendance here tomorrow night. We'll have a parade during the second intermission to honor all the hardworking women in hockey programs around the Texas Panhandle. So all that coming up tomorrow night. I believe tomorrow night is also Sod Poodles night, where the Wranglers will be honoring the 2023 Texas League champions. Once again, another congratulations to the Sod Poodles. Puck bouncing around at center. Corralling it is Brock James. Tries to backhand it towards the middle. He takes a shot from Henry McRoberts. It's Drew Jeffords from his own zone. Almost gets his pocket picked. As Masick was in the area. Wranglers back in the attacking zone. Can't gain possession there. As turnover here, but the Brahmas are offside. Dangerous play there by Henry McRoberts. As Charlie Masick was bursting onto the scene, but the Brahmas are offside there with 6:34 to go in period one. Neutral zone draw, near side, across from the Wranglers bench. Luke Morris will take it against Justin Kerr. I mean, go figure, the Brahmas have a line of two guys with the last name Kerr, and they're not even related. Luke Morris on that draw, sees the puck skittered into the Brahmas zone. Be picked up by Atiri, and he'll wait behind his zone net, survey the scene, and dish it towards his right for Murakami. Brahmas captain gets it out to the red line. Drop pass here, Kerr on the right side, across for Kerr, and a shot goes off the post. He's just inches away from giving the Brahmas a 1-0 lead as the puck rolls in on McDonough, as Trey Williams wouldn't let him cover it, and he'll lift it back out to center, and then some, as it goes into Brahmas territory. Icing's waved off. Left side attack for Lone Star. Looks like Capello goes down. Wanted to call, not going to get it. Puck goes back down to Roloffs. Well, Owen Kerr dished it to Justin Kerr. His shot went off the right post. And the Wranglers catch a break here in the late stages of the first period. It's Colin Doherty in the neutral zone. Slams it in, takes a few bounces, slowed down by Roloffs. Murakami, left side looking for Zavernyuk. Pass goes astray. Wranglers chop it down deep once more. Roman Zapp on the near side wall tries to go to the line, but the Wranglers were on the same page there as it splits the D. And Kyle DeMarco will pick it up. Center ice. Brahmas come away with possession. Murakami goes D to D. As Atiri finds Hampstead up ahead. Back to Atiri. And turnover here. Puukkonen towards the slot. Gets dumped. Picked up by Papaspropoulos. And he scores! Alex Papaspropoulos picks up the loose change. And the Wranglers have a 1-0 lead. With 5:06 to go in the first period, that second line for the Wranglers does it again. It's Topi Puukkonen trying to just muscle his way towards the goal, just driving the net, gets taken down, and the puck is picked up by Alex Papaspropoulos between the circles, and he's able to slide between the wickets of Deves Rolovs for the first goal of the game. So it's Papaspropoulos' 6th goal of the season. His 16th point of the year comes from Topi Puukkonen. Puukkonen now has 20 points on the year. And that's the goal that's given the Wranglers a 1-0 lead with 5:06 to go in the first period. When scoring first, the Wranglers an impressive record of 7-1. So fortune favors the bold. Wranglers look to be in good shape, although we got a lot of hockey left to be played. Is off that draw. Wranglers, Jack Ivey tries to throw it towards the goal. Rolovs will paddle it along from center. DeMarco winds it around to the left side for Jack Ivey. Comes to Ben Ivey, and a quick shot is stopped by Rolovs. Picked up by Keskintepi, and he will bank it off the near side wall. He's got Tess in the neutral zone. They'll send it down low for Charlie Masick, but Colin Doherty's in the area as the Wranglers try and pry that puck away, and they do. Jack Ivey to the neutral zone. Goes back towards center. He dishes it left side for Jack McDonald. McRoberts into the fray. Backhands it back towards McDonald. Turnover there is picked up by Tess. And at center ice, he'll just slam it in as he goes off for a change. Puck rolls back into the Brahmas zone. Uncontested, no icing. As Emmons from behind his zone net will survey the scene. Up ahead finds Kerr. Justin Kerr, now right side Owen Kerr into offensive territory. Loses the puck as Grayson Gerhardt is there to meet it. Stepanek trying to squeak it up ahead for Jeffers. He does, but the Brahmas take possession back. As Emmons, right side for Justin Kerr. He'll shoot and miss the net. That one was wide by a few feet. Rolls back into the Brahmas territory where Emmons will once again wait behind his net and see what unfolds out in front of him in open ice. Off the wall, up to Kerr in the neutral zone. Justin Kerr will chop it in as the Brahmas get a change here. Up ahead, Grayson Gerhardt from the Brahmas blue line will backhand it in, slowed down by Rolovs. Left side, Atiri goes off the skate of Morris, almost a turnover there as Luke Morris is just corralling it now. Below the goal line, finds Jacob Miller for a moment, but McDonald on the back check is able to steal it away. At center, Murakami gets his pocket picked. Wranglers looking to go the other way. They turn it over to Atiri. Zadvernyuk from his own zone. Drop it off for the captain Murakami. He will just dump it in. As giving chase is Bergeron. Luke Morris backhands it to Miller in the neutral zone. Jacob Miller across, finds Gagnon, but the pass was a little too hot as it glanced off his skate. Wranglers on the forecheck looking to get possession back. Tommy Chunchikov in the fray. Battling with him is Ingles. Chunchikov to Zapp. Toe drag Swag below the goal line. Backhands it up to the left point. Doherty across to Marco off the end wall. Comes into the blue paint, and it's gloved down by Rolovs. It's like Zapp and Keskintepi having a few words for each other in that near half wall of the Brahmas zone. I'll keep an eye on that as the game goes on, and now everybody seems to be kind of all huddled up there. We got 2:20 remaining in the first period. Wranglers with a 1-0 lead off the goal from Alex Papaspropoulos. Kobe Pukanen picks up the assist. Looks like Wranglers now leading the shot count 6-5. Sends us to our second media timeout of the period. Wranglers with a 1-0 lead. We'll be back in just a few moments on NATV and YouTube.
This is Colin Doherty, and you're listening to Wranglers Hockey on YouTube.
Welcome back to downtown Amarillo. Wranglers with a 1-0 lead, late stages of the first period. It'll be a neutral zone draw on the near side across from the Brahmas bench. Roman Zapp to take it for Amarillo. Ivan Zavernyuk for Lone Star, and Zavernyuk is able to get it back to his defense. Wranglers chop it down, and everybody gives chase. Lone Star swings it along, kept in by DeMarco, back below the goal line. Lone Star turnover in the slot. Pukanen throws it on goal. Rebound chance, and Papaspropoulos almost had his second. And he got his stick lifted just at the last second. Puck comes to Zapp. Drops it off for Pukanen. The slot. Shot is blocked. And the Brahmas will clear. McDonough well out of his net to play it. Stretch pass connects with Zapp. Pukanen there to help out. Puck is contested for at the Brahmas line. And eventually, Teskentepe will pick it up in open ice and fire it into the Wranglers zone. Colin Doherty after it for Amarillo. Tries to chop it up ahead. His bodies converge. Doherty back behind his zone net. Off the wall for DeMarco. He will pick his head up and send it off the near side wall as it bounces towards the Brahmas. Brock James from center ice finds Tess. Right side. Holds up back to James, and he fired wide. Puck goes all the way back out to the neutral zone where Emmons goes D to D. And the Brahmas looking to go back on the attack. The Brahma takes a spill on the near side. Get it back up to the line. Trying to walk that line and send it across to Emmons. As puck takes a weird hop and hits the side of the net. As McDonough was looking to play it. Under a minute to go here in the first period. The stoppage with 55 seconds to go in the first. A couple of good looks there for Lone Star, but no cigar. Still a 1-0 game for the Wranglers. Only a combined 11 shots so far here in the first period, 6 going the Wranglers' way, the other 5 for the Brahmas. As center ice draw is won by Lone Star. Takes a funny off that wall again and loose in the slots, picked up by Jeffers. Jack Ivey from the neutral zone. Plays it down deep, paddled by Rolovs. Ben Ivey chops it along to the far side wall. McNaughton to the line for Jeffers. Make that McDonald as Rolovs makes the blocker save, but Roberts couldn't hold it in. Lone Star from behind their own net. To the right for Murakami. Give and go. Kerr drop pass for Owen Kerr. And the Wranglers come away with the puck. Jack McDonald into the offensive zone. Moving towards his right. Drop pass for Jeffers. Jeffers towards the slot. Wranglers trying to get a shot off, and they do. And they'll go high and wide. As it might have gotten a piece of Rolovs. Might have gotten a piece of the side of the net. If it did, not by much. Either way, another puck out of play with 8.7 to go in the first. We know the South Division for that nastiness and that physical play, although pretty clean first period so far, as only one penalty in the period to this point, and it was against Lone Star. a little under 5 minutes in. That's our only penalty of the game. Off the wall, Papaspropoulos below the goal line, turning, tries to get it to Zap, time running out, and that'll do it for period one. So after 20 minutes of play, the Wranglers have a 1-0 lead, but in the meantime, looks like Zap and Keskentepe still exchanging words and maybe a few jabs, as after the horn gave, those two seem to come together once more and we're jostling, so we'll have to keep an eye on that saga as the game goes on, and really as the weekend goes on, as looks like that's going to become a staple of Wranglers and Brahmas hockey this weekend. Lone goal coming from Alex Papaspropoulos with 5:06 remaining in the first period. Talk all about it on the first intermission report. Look at some scores from around the league, talk about the South Division a little bit, and preview the second and third periods when we come back on NATV and YouTube.
This is Colin Doherty, and you're listening to Wranglers Hockey on YouTube.
Welcome back to the Budweiser Bull Pen, and welcome in to the first intermission report where the Wranglers have a 1-0 lead after 20 minutes of play. I am Guy Chiarenza, and it's been a pretty fun game so far. We knew it was going to be a tight game. We knew scoring was going to come at a premium. We knew shots were going to be very sparse, and that's looking like it's going to be the case here tonight, as the Brahmas have 5 shots on the board, the Wranglers with 7 after the first frame has concluded. Lone goal coming from Alex Papaspropoulos from Tope Pukkanen. 5:06 remaining in the first. I give the Wranglers the 1-0 lead that we currently see up on the board right now. As just one of those plays where Pukkanen was trying to drive towards the net and ended up getting taken down. I can't recall if there was going to be a delayed penalty on that play or not. Turns out it didn't matter, as Papaspropoulos was able to pick up that loose puck as he was kind of trailing Pukkanen as both were moving towards the slot. He was able to pick up that loose puck and fire it past Deves Roloms for the first and only goal of the game to this point. So that's where we stand so far, 1-0 game. Only one penalty through 20 minutes of play, which you don't really see a whole lot in the South Division. A division that's really known for its tough, its grit, and just that tenacity. So far, just one penalty on the board, and it went Lone Star's way as Max Hamstad went to the box for the Brahmas. I believe this is his first game with Lone Star. So Hamstad, welcome to the South, as he picked up his first 2 penalty minutes as a Brahma. And Lone Star was able to get the kill. Wranglers 0 for 1 on the power play. Been watching Wranglers practice throughout the course of the week, and like speaking with head coach Ryan Anderson, it looks like the Wranglers aren't too happy with the way their power play has looked over the last couple of games. Looks like they made some wholesale changes in practice this week. It seemed like they're trying to put those into motion here tonight. Only got one chance and weren't able to score on that opportunity. Usually when you switch up a power play unit, it takes a little bit of time for things to gel, but Ryan Anderson really, the way he described it to me, seemed like he wasn't happy with the way the power play was performing as of late. As I mentioned, when the Wranglers were on their power play opportunity, they have not scored on the power play in their last few games. After they were coming off a pretty hot streak where they were scoring, seemed like consistently every single game on the power play. But over the last 3 games, ever since that 2-0 win against Shreveport, they have not scored on the man advantage. They're 0 for 1 here tonight. So we'll see how that works out for the Wranglers so far tonight, really throughout the course of the weekend. Brahmas are a pretty well-oiled machine when it comes to guys being in the right place, and so I got to figure that they have a pretty good penalty kill. And so the Brahmas able to go 1 for 1 on the PK so far in the first period. Wranglers 0 for 1 on the power play, but really one of those games where if things stay consistent to what the first period gave us, it could be one of those games where not going to got a whole lot of chances on the man advantage. So if you do get those opportunities and you're the team that's able to make the most of your chances, you know, hockey history says that whenever a team is able to capitalize on those special teams opportunities, that's the team that usually comes away with the game in games like this. So if that rings true throughout the course of the game, and again, this could be one of those games where the second period just blows wide open, and we see a lot of penalties, a lot of scoring. But knowing the Brahmas and knowing the Wranglers, I'm not too convinced that's what's going to happen. So I believe the rest of this game will probably shake out the way that the first period ended up. And so, you know, if man advantages are far and few between, if the Wranglers want to come away with a win here tonight, we're going to have to get that power play clicking. And we're yet to see the penalty kill, but if they do have to go out there, they'll have to be solid and up to the task as well. As the Brahmas are a team that really is littered with high scorers. As you just look throughout the course of their lineup, you got a lot of guys succeeding so far in the early stages of the season. I mean, highlighted by Brock James, really just seemed to have come out of nowhere, as he's got the A on his sweater. The main native is point per game player by a wide margin, as he's got 25 points on the year, 9 goals, 16 assists in 16 games played coming into tonight. So you figure at the top of the game, Brock James was a point per game player just with his assists alone. So he's a threat every time he steps onto the ice. Wranglers have done a good job of bottling him up so far, as I don't believe, we'll look at the shots taken here so far in the game. It looks like Brock James has yet to have a shot on goal, so Wranglers doing a good job of defending him so far. Looks like 4 of the Brahmas' 5 shots came from either Charlie Emmons or Justin Kerr. Both have 2 apiece, so if the Brahmas want to get on the board, they're going to have to find a way to really get their depth scoring to appear here in this game. It seems like that's something that the Brahmas are getting a lot of this season. For the Wranglers, interesting of note, they have 7 shots on the board so far in this game. 3 shots have been credited to Drew Jeffers. Now, Drew Jeffers is a guy that came over in the trade with the Colorado Grit on the 17th of October. Jeffers with the Wranglers has been very impressive in my eyes, as the Michigan man, Drew Jeffers, is playing in his 10th game as a Wrangler here so far this season. And in his stint with the Wranglers, he's got 1 goal, 1 assist for 2 points, just 2 penalty minutes. He's a +3 so far with Amarillo. He's been a very solid addition to the Wranglers' blue line. It seems like they're still trying to find that perfect defenseman to pair with Jeffers, as Drew Jeffers playing on that right side. They got him on the 3rd pairing here tonight. Looks like he's paired up with TJ Ritchie, something that we've seen over the last couple of games ever since Jeffers came to town. Looked like either TJ Ritchie's been on that side. Sometimes it's been Henry McRoberts. We saw Sebastian Mitro getting chances there for the Wranglers so far this season. Really just seems like the Wranglers are trying to find that really perfect pairing for Drew Jeffers, but it seems like no matter who Jeffers is paired with, he's played quite well. So he's been a good addition to the blue line for the Wranglers. And the thing I like about Drew Jeffers is he's not scared to take scoring chances. He's not afraid to fire the puck from the blue line. He's also not afraid to pinch down low and give the Wranglers some life offensively in the offensive zone. So I really like the play of Drew Jeffers. He's a 2003-born defenseman, so he's 20 years old. This is a guy that I think is a really good pickup for the Wranglers, and the Wranglers only got him for I believe it was a 2025 future asset from the Colorado Grits. So it could be one of those trades where that works out very, very well for the Wranglers, as they're looking to go on a deep playoff run this season and build off of what was built upon last season when the Wranglers finished 4th in the South Division. For the Brahmas, if you look at this team, it seems like they're as well poised to make a deep run as ever, as they ended up falling to the Mudbugs last season in the first round. But I mean, you got a coaching staff like Dan Wildfong, Logan Murphy, guys that have been there in this league. You got a strong leadership group behind the bench. You also got a strong leadership on the ice, as it looks like the Brahmas have 5 assistant captains this season, and it's led by head captain Ray Murakami, who's playing in his 123rd North American Hockey League game tonight with Lone Star. Just needs 27 more to take that top spot for most games played as a defenseman in Brahma's NHL history. So he's got 44 more to go if he wants to take it all on his own for the most games played by any Brahma throughout their NHL history. So Ray Murakami's been a staple for the Brahmas over the last couple of years. He's their captain so far this season, and he's leading the charge on a Brahmas team that looks like they're very tough to beat this season. If you're able to pick up a win against Lone Star this year, chances are you're a pretty good team, as the Wranglers looking to do just that here tonight. As really, we talked about it coming into the Oklahoma series against the Warriors, where the Wranglers played 5 straight against the defending champs, picked up 4 out of 5 against the Oklahoma Warriors. And coming into that 5-game set, we're doing one of 2 things. One, saying, oh my gosh, we play 5 straight games against the Oklahoma Warriors. Yippee. But ended up turning out being quite the outing for the Wranglers, as coming into that matchup, thought it would be a pretty good benchmark for the Wranglers early on in the season to see where they were at that point in the season. Like, could they go toe-to-toe with one of those top teams in the division and pick up 4 out of 5? The answer was yes, the Wranglers can. Ended up getting the split against the Shreveport Mudbugs, split against the New Mexico Ice Wolves, but picked up 3 out of 4 standing points against a good New Mexico team. So you gotta figure the Wranglers can hang in there with some of the top teams in the South, but this right here, this is the big test. A Lone Star Brahmas team that gets all the credit they deserve. This is a good team in the South Division. Off to a really good start with 15-6-0-1 record, 31 points, got a 4-point margin over the second-place El Paso Rhinos. Wranglers will play El Paso next weekend on Black Friday and the Saturday after over in El Paso. So big games coming up for the Wranglers in this next set, including tonight. 8 out of the next 9 for Amarillo are against teams that are in playoff position. Now, the catch is 6 out of the next 9 are against the Lone Star Brahmas, the other 2 against the El Paso Rhinos, and you get 1 game against the Odessa Jackalopes over at Ector County Coliseum sprinkled in there. Makes for a pretty interesting next stretch for the Wranglers. You got to figure if they can come out with a winning record over that stretch, they're the real deal. And so we'll see what the Wranglers look like heading into December. So far, the month of November has been pretty kind to the Wranglers, as they have a winning record so far in the month of November. The Wranglers this season off to a 2-1-1 start in November, where they had a pretty good month of October as well, where they went 5-3-1. The Wranglers steadily getting traction as the season goes on. And talking to Tommy Chunchikov this week, kind of asked him about that Oklahoma series. Just, you know, what went well for the Wranglers in that series. And to paraphrase here, but you just said that the team was building chemistry and they're really starting to gel right now. They're all buying into the Ryan Anderson system, and it seems like guys are really starting to gel together. The team is building chemistry, and as a result of that, the Wranglers are starting to string together a few wins here over their last couple of games. 7-2-1 in the last 10, so this is a team that's really starting to come together right now. And it just seems like the Wranglers really starting to find their groove with that Ryan Anderson system. Really talking to Ryan Anderson through the early stages of the season, really seemed like he was like, yeah, it's going to take some time for our guys to get acclimated to the way that I want them to play. It's not one of those systems of play where you can kind of just jump right in and, succeed right off the bat, although we've seen a few guys do that in the season. Most often it takes guys a few games to really work into the system. So for Ryan Anderson's Amarillo Wranglers, they're right where they want to be. It seems like they like the group that they've got, and everybody's really starting to play into that system. And as a result of that, the Wranglers stringing together a few wins here and really going toe-to-toe with some of the best teams in the South Division and coming away victorious in those situations. The Wranglers aren't a team that's going to really blow out their opponent every single night. This is a team that really, when it comes down to 1 or 2 goal games, they're able to come away with victories. So as a result of that, I've started to call them the cardiac kids, as it seems like night in and night out, it's always a nail-biter right down to the end. And of course, as Wranglers fans, everybody wants them to just, can you please come away with a victory of wide margin just for once? It seems like the answer night in and night out is no, but as long as the Wranglers are winning, I don't think anybody has a problem with it. But this is a team that really, when it comes down to those tight games, has proven that they can come away with a victory. And most often, playoff teams are exactly that way. In crunch time, can you come away with a slim victory against a good team? So far for the Wranglers, that answer has been yes. For the Brahmas, so far this season, it just seems like anybody they play, good chance they're going to come away with a victory. I was pretty surprised when the Brahmas were able to pick up a few wins against the El Paso Rhinos last weekend. Most notably that 5-1 score against El Paso, where the Brahmas really just had their way. This is a Lone Star team that really seems to have started to separate themselves from the pack so far. Again, that series against El Paso, to me, really was a statement series for the Brahmas. And maybe for El Paso, it was just one of those things where, okay, we're off to a good start to the season, but, maybe we weren't as good as we thought we were. And El Paso was towards the bottom of the standings last season, having a really good turnaround so far this year. They're on pace to go well past the mark that they put up last season. So it's really kind of interesting. I mean, is El Paso really that good, or is Lone Star that good? We'll see, as the Wranglers will play El Paso next weekend. Of course, you got this set here this weekend against the Brahmas. But really, right now it seems like teams are starting to separate themselves from the pack in the South Division, although it's very muddied waters. It looks like Odessa, Colorado, and Corpus Christi are going to kind of slide towards the bottom, although a lot of hockey left to be played. And to give Odessa the benefit of the doubt, this is a team that really spent a lot of time away from home, as it looks like just now they're starting to finally get some games in at Ector County Coliseum, so maybe they'll turn it around. But looks like right now your top 6 are not separated by much. Is El Paso with 27 points, New Mexico with 23. You think about that 5-point space between El Paso and New Mexico. Give it a couple weekends, maybe a month, and perhaps New Mexico could be in that 2nd spot, and El Paso's down in that 6th spot. So really, you just never know. It's still early on in the season, but Lone Star with a statement over El Paso last weekend puts them at 15-6-0-1 coming into this matchup. So looks like Lone Star's the real deal so far. And again, I've always said that really after Christmas is really when you start to know who's who, and who's a contender and who's a fraud. And looks like right now Lone Star's a contender. Amarillo looking to be a contender as well. And a couple wins against the Brahmas this weekend would certainly put them in that conversation. We still got 40 minutes left to play here from the Budweiser Bull Pen, as both teams have taken the ice for the 2nd period, as we're just moments away from 2nd period puck drop. As Roloffs and McDonough back in goal. Roloff stopping 6 of 7 in the 1st period. McDonough stopping 5 of 5 for the Wranglers in the 1st frame. Brahmas will skate from right to left, wearing their road dark jerseys. It's a black jersey with white shoulder yoke and white numbers. Wranglers will skate from left to right, as you see it on NATV. And they're wearing their home white jerseys with blue numbers and blue lettering, as we are underway for 2nd period action from Amarillo. As the Wranglers wind it into the offensive zone. puck up for grabs here on the near side wall. Looks like Keskentepe's lost his bucket. He'll have to go off the ice. I don't know, I guess he's staying out there as the Wranglers center it towards the slot and get it to the line. DeMarco throws it on goal. Now looks like it was blocked out in front. Throws it toward the goal as it goes back out to center where Capello will turn it to DeMarco deep into Amarillo territory. Kyle DeMarco finds Gerhard in the neutral zone. Puck is dumped into Lone Star territory. Goes off the bucket of Keskentepe that was left out on the ice. As Gagnon back in his own zone. Looks to get things jump-started for the Wranglers early in the second period. Throws it off the far side wall. Jack Ivey drops it off for Grayson Gerhard. Gerhard throws it towards the net, but it goes up a stick and out of play. 55 seconds into period 2. Wranglers still lead it 1-0. Antti Attiri being a good teammate. He's got that helmet of Keskentepe. He'll work it back over to him as he meets it at center ice. And he will head back towards the bench. Offensive zone draw for the Wranglers here. Ben Ivey will lean in to take that draw. Ben Ivey so good in the faceoff circle for the Wranglers this season. He will take the draw. Looks like against him is going to be Brock James in the faceoff dot. As they will do battle here, and off that draw, goes off the wall, picked up by Jack McDonald. Goes down to his knees, no call. Wranglers dump it in deep, takes a funny hop on that corner. That is something you got to get used to when you play in this building. There's a pretty big gap where the door opens on either door to the tunnels. As the puck gets pinned up on the near side boards, coming away with it is Ben Ivey. High slot, tries to drift it towards the slot, goes off a stick, picked up by Attiri. He'll slap it back up ahead where it's picked up by Charlie Masick. He will dish it up ahead. After it is Tess. Gains possession, swings out from behind the goal. Shadowing him is Trey Williams. To Murakami, down low towards the slot, goes off the skate of Ben Ivey. And off to the races is Jack McDonald. Almost had a breakaway there, but getting back on the back check was Ivan Zavranyuk. To throw it off the boards to no one but McDonald, centering pass. And the shot by Gagnon goes astray. Below the goal line, Roman Zapp will handle it on his backhand. Gets it to Williams. Left wall. It's met by Attiri. Tess comes away with the puck, and Lone Star is able to work it out of their own zone, but not for long, as from center ice, Gagnon throws it on goal, gloved down by Rolovs. He'll keep it moving. He's in his own zone. Attiri, left wing pass for Zavranyuk. Zapp read it all the way, and he's able to get possession for the Wranglers. As Gagnon loses the puck for a moment, dangerous play there. He's able to drop it off for Jeffers. As Drew Jeffers goes across, glances off the stick of Zapp, pass out a little bit of heat on it. Comes over to Papaspropoulos, spinning in the neutral zone, finds Pukkanen up ahead. Pukkanen takes a shot, and Rolovs might have gotten a piece of it. Zapp towards the middle, looking for Papaspropoulos, comes to Pukkanen, out front, Zapp! Oh, and Papaspropoulos fend on the shot. Below the goal line, able to muscle it, off the wall, right point, Jeffers a blast, and it goes off the end wall. Held in by McRoberts, finds Zapp, left side, back to McRoberts. Pukkanen, left half wall, swings it around to the right side, Papaspropoulos keeps it moving for a shot there. It is stopped by Rolovs. Shot was taken by Drew Jeffers. We talked about it in the first intermission. Drew Jeffers not afraid to take shots. I believe that is his 4th of the game. And Rolovs was able to make the save. So look at the shot count, 8-5 for the Wranglers. 4 of those shots came courtesy of Drew Jeffers. Go figure. Looks like Jeffers is really finding his groove with the Wranglers in his 10th game with the club. Draw will be to the left of Rolovs, near circle of the Brahmas zone. Luke Morris will take this draw for Amarillo. Bergeron wins it against him. And the Brahmas will look to exit their own zone. Jacob Miller making it difficult, as on the forecheck, Miller's able to steal the puck away. Miller looking for help. Gets it to Chunchikov. Down low, swings it right side. After it is Luke Morris. Wranglers trying to possess the puck. Back down low, met by Chunchikov. And now the Brahmas will gain possession. Good forecheck there for the Wranglers. Bergeron to his left, goes off the skate of Emmons. Brahmas can't possess it here. Right point, Jeffers throws it towards the goal, goes wide. Is met by Pyle, and he will lift it to the neutral zone where it's off the glove of Morris to Jeffers. Looks like no hand pass here as Drew Jeffers towards the neutral zone. Tries to split the D, and looked like he was almost able to do it. At the last second, the Brahmas are able to take the puck away. Goes off the skate of an official. Brahmas, left wing, Kerr spins, finds Capello, throws it on goal. Save made by McDonough, and the puck goes through the blue paint. Wranglers are able to get it back out to the line, but not out. Capello towards the goal. Kerr, a shot, and a save made by McDonough. Another stop from Connor McDonough, and on his backside is able to make a save once more. Unreal. Connor McDonough, how do you do it? That second save is frozen by McDonough. Stops the clock with 15:53 remaining in the second period. My goodness. Two quick saves from McDonough. Not sure how he kept that second one out of the net. It looked like he was really flopping around like a jellyfish down there, and really from his tummy or really from his backside, looked like he kind of twisted over to make that save. Somehow able to deny the Brahmas the game-tying goal. The ensuing draw will be towards his right, near circle of the Wranglers zone. Ben Ivy will battle with Bergeron in the face-off circle. Shots are now 9-8 for the Wranglers. Tested puck off the draw, picked up by DeMarco, lifts it towards the neutral zone. Clambers around for a bit, settled down here by Ingles. Finds Masick through center ice into Wranglers territory. He'll dump it in. Like nobody giving chase for the Brahmas here. At least not quickly enough, as the Wranglers are able to work it back out of their own zone. Jack Ivey all alone, finds a trailer. Ben Ivey, a blast! And didn't get as much of it as he wanted to as it went off the end wall. Held in by Doherty. Left point down low, looking for Ben Ivey. Finds McDonald, tries to throw it on goal. Hit a few bodies. Ben Ivey has it at the line. Throws it on goal for Roloffs to make a pad save. Below the goal line is McDonald now. The puck stolen away from him. Good play there from Charlie Masick. Swing it left wing, looking for Zadranyuk. Goes off his skate, met by DeMarco. As the Brahmas will have to settle for a dump in on McDonough. A little over 5 minutes gone in the second period. Wranglers with a 1-0 lead, although the Brahmas were knocking on the door in the last sequence. Here's McDonald for Lone Star. Gets it left point for a shot. It's blocked out in front. McDonough may have made a save on that play. Picked up there by Matthias Borak. Swings it down low, looking for Zadranyuk, and he's got him. Right side, Atiri pinches down low, gets it to Zadranyuk. Matthias Borak in the far corner, trying to muscle that puck away from Connor McNaughton. McNaughton not making it easy on him, but Borak's able to get it away. Atiri for a shot. Pad save by McDonough. Play keeps moving. Back into that far corner of the Wranglers zone. Borak once again able to muscle the puck free. Centers it off a body. And looks like Lone Star, still on the forecheck here, is able to pin it back up in that corner again. Centering pass. Borak off the side of the net. He's been busy on this shift, and now we've got a stoppage of play with 14:01 to go in the second. We'll see what we have here. Looks like McNaughton headed towards the bench for Amarillo. Shots 9 apiece. As far as I can tell, nobody in the penalty box for either side. Not quite sure what we've got going on here. Looks like Dan Wildfong speaking with our head official for the evening. Looks like his name is Fagan. So out of all of this, looks like the Wranglers going to field that second line with Papaspropoulos. I believe Lone Star might get a power play out of this, as there's only 4 Wrangler skaters on the ice right now, unless there's a mix-up here. Trying to make something out of all of this. Now Wranglers have 5 skaters on the ice, so it appears we now will play 5-on-5. Not sure what that was all about. 5 skaters aside, I guess we're back to 5-on-5. As off that draw, Lone Star still battling in the Wranglers zone. Left point, Atiri to the slot, bounces around, and a save made by McDonough. Looked like Owen Kerr was in the area as he was looking to cash in, but McDonough was able to stone him cold. 13:49 to go in period 2. Seems like the Wranglers this season are really going to run the McDonough train so far. And it looks like he's going to be the workhorse in net for Amarillo. This is the Wranglers' 20th game of the season. This is McDonough's 15th start, so he's been busy this season. And he's performed quite admirably as he continues to build upon the legend that he built for himself at the end of last season. Zapp will take the draw, and he wins it. He's below his own goal line, picked up by Pukkanen. Whip it around, goes off the boards, and a save made there by McDonough on Tess. Brahmas retain possession here. Right side, it's Murakami trying to go down low towards the slot, but pinballs around, and now it's corralled by Roman Zapp. Finds Pukkanen left side wall. Gets some help from Williams. The Wranglers will exit their own zone here. He tapped into the Brahmas zone, possessed by Ray Murakami. Number 55 for Lone Star starts a right wing breakout. As Hamstead tries to move it up further, but it looks like the Brahmas either played it into their own bench or are offside. That'll stop the clock with 13:11 to go in the second period, but look at this. Brahmas now lead the shot count 11-9, so a few really good shifts there for Lone Star. Knocking on the door. Only difference between them and a few goals, Connor McDonough. What else is new? As Eisenberg possesses off the draw, moves right side, he'll dump it in. McDonough slows it down, gets it to Trey Williams. Tries to play it out of his zone, bounces back towards Williams, and he will now get it to the line. Eisenberg gloves it down, and I believe the Brahmas are offside on that play. 12:56 remaining in the second. Like this draw is going to be right in front of the Brahmas bench. Ben Ivy will battle with Bergeron. Ben Ivy wins that draw. Goes back for Williams to retrieve it in the corner of his own zone. Plays it off the wall. Ben Ivy and McDonald in there trying to possess the puck for the Wranglers. Pyle making it difficult for them, but eventually Williams will send it back out to center where it's met by Ben Ivy. Puck ping-pongs around for a bit. Hamstead corrals it, and he will send it back down to McDonough. Off the wall, McDonough plays it to the line, and the Wranglers might have a break here as Ben Ivy with Ivy in the slot and tries to throw it towards the middle for his twin brother Jack. It went up a stick and out of play. 12:25 to go in the second. So in a game where we've got a set of twins in Jack and Ben Ivy on the Wranglers, and we have two guys with the last name Kerr, both spelled the same way for Lone Star, who are not related. It's a broadcaster's dream. you got to call them by their first name. As we're having some fun here on a Friday night, Wranglers with a 1-0 lead, courtesy of a first period goal from Alex Papaspropoulos, his 6th of the year. Luke Morris wins the offensive zone draw. Left point, McRoberts winds it down low. Stays down there as Keskentepe has it for Lone Star. Looking for Borak up ahead. Turnover here. Morris turns and shoots, and it's blocked by Keskentepe. Loose change is picked up by Ingles. And he'll get it back out to center. Like Drew Jeffers was trying to glove that puck down. I believe he did. In the process, lost his stick, and I think we got a hand pass here with 12:05 remaining in period 2. So freshmen tumble over the boards for both sides. Second line out there for the Wranglers, Zapp, Papaspropoulos, Pukkanen. On the blue line, you've got McRoberts and Jeffers. McRoberts, the former Brahma, played 6 games with Lone Star last season. Asked him, do you know anybody on the Brahmas roster? He said, yes, and here's Papaspropoulos to break towards the slot. Can't get the shot away. Now he does, and it goes off the end boards. Picked up by Pukkanen. Just when you start to tell a story, things get good. Pukkanen to Papaspropoulos, right circle, down low for Zapp. Shoots, and a save made by Rolovs. Maybe his best of the night. And his left point, McRoberts. Slides by Tess. McRoberts below the goal line. Chasing after it. Pukkanen helps move the puck along, and the Brahmas are able to exit their own zone now. A zap from the neutral zone finds Pukkanen, left side. Wranglers back in the offensive zone. McRoberts shoots, and it goes off a stick of Masick. Stays in play. Grabbed by the skate of Jeffers, but he can't get possession. Up ahead is Brock James. Looking for a trailer. It's met by Jeffers. Puck goes up in the air. Lone Star throws it towards the goal, but it's picked up by McRoberts, and he will settle play down from behind his own goal and put the puck back in the neutral zone for Papaspropoulos. Puck goes in on goal for McDonough to slow it down. Just when you start to tell a story, that's when play starts to get good again. Here we go again. Papaspropoulos, right side. Backhand shot. Goes high and wide. Picked up by Zapp. Finds Papaspropoulos in the near corner of the Brahmas zone. Shadowing him is Keskentepi. Gerhardt in the fray trying to pick that puck free, but Lone Star comes away with it. It's Ingles in the neutral zone. McNaughton tries to get the puck off his stick. He does, but Lone Star in hot pursuit. As the puck goes into the end wall of the Wranglers zone. Right point, Ingles can't hold it in. After him is Connor McNaughton. Racing Gerhardt also in the fray. He's got the puck on his stick. Gerhardt to the shot, and a save made by Rolovs on that chance. Racing Gerhardt hard on the forecheck. Almost got his name mixed up there, but Grayson Gerhardt throws it on goal. Rolovs makes the save. Still a 1-0 game with 10:19 to go in the second period. We'll be back in just a few moments on NATV and YouTube. Welcome back to the Texas Panhandle, where the Wranglers have a 1-0 lead over the Brahmas. 10:19 remaining in the second period. Brahmas lead the shot count 12-11. While I have the chance now, I might as well just tell my McRoberts story, because it seems like every time I get a break in play during the game, during live action, all of a sudden something else happens and play goes the other way. So I'll just tell it now. McRoberts, the former Brahma, asked him, hey, who do you know on the roster? And, well, he points to a bunch of guys and says, oh, no, this guy, this guy, this guy. And I'm like, well, yeah, of course you do. But, I mean, anybody personally. And looks like he pointed his finger towards Bo Kralovec, who is not in the lineup tonight for Lone Star, but pointed towards him and said, yeah, I know Bo. He lived about a mile away from me in Michigan. Is Kralovec the Iron Mountain native of Michigan? McRoberts from Kingsford, Michigan. So looks like he's a good friend of Kralovec. Hopefully he gets into the lineup sometime this weekend, as Doherty from the left point tries to throw it towards the goal, goes off a body. Lone Star backhands it out of their own zone. Up ahead, it's Brock James, one-on-one, tries to go by DeMarco, and he gets crunched there by Doherty. Wranglers are able to evade any more danger there, but Lone Star knocking on the door once more. Down low, Zavernyuk gets his pocket picked by DeMarco, kicks it up ahead, looking for Jack Ivey. He's got him. He flips it up ahead, looking for McDonald. As he gives chase, he's able to pry it free. McDonald towards the slot. He's got Jack Ivey down low, and off the side of the net is a shot from Ben Ivey. Wranglers almost had their second of the night. Ben Ivey, the goal line, gets to McDonald. Right point to Marco, across, Doherty, left circle. Towards the slot, goes through everybody and picked up by Brock James, but get a stoppage here with a whistle. 9:32 to go in the second, and we'll see what comes out of this here. Looks like we're going to have a penalty. And it looks like the guilty party is Eisenberg for Lone Star, so the Wranglers are going to head to their second power play of the game. Eisenberg broke a hockey rule. It's 2 minutes for high sticking. 9:32 remaining in the second period. Second power play of the game for either side, both going the Wranglers' way. So we talked about that special teams battle in the first intermission. Really good chance here for the Wranglers to really test out that new power play. As it looks like we've got a few new faces on this unit for the Wranglers. We've got Zapp taking the face-off draw, McNaughton to his left. To his right, we've got Stepanek, Papaspropoulos manning the left point, and Drew Jeffers waiting at the line. So we'll see what Ryan Anderson's new power play unit looks like here. Wranglers win the draw, left point, Papaspropoulos. Can't hold it in at the blue line, as fumbles with it there. Masick applying the pressure. Papaspropoulos still has possession as he flips it to himself and into the Brahmas zone. Tries to go across for Jeffers, and now finally loses possession, but gets it back in the neutral zone. From the red line, Papaspropoulos fires it in, goes around to the near side wall. McNaughton leaves it for Zapp. He'll go down low, off the wall, finds McNaughton behind the goal. McNaughton chops it towards the slot, looking for Stepanek, but the Brahmas are there to break that up. Over the red line, Bergeron, short-handed. Brahmas able to cycle the puck around in the Wranglers zone. Down a man, no problem, as Zadvernyuk deep into Wrangler territory. Able to kill some more time off the clock. And it's just 1:06 remaining on the Wrangler power play. Wranglers just now will finally get possession, so good shift there, short-handed for Lone Star to kill some time off that Wrangler power play. We're under a minute to go on that. As Jack Ivey swings out with speed along the right side. Cuts in towards the middle. He'll knife his way into the offensive zone. Jack Ivey doing it all, gets it to McDonald. Tries to go back to Ivey, but Brahmas were able to get in the way. I believe that was Zadvernyuk. He's back down to McDonough. Wranglers have to reset with 35 seconds remaining on the man advantage. Turnover in their own zone comes to Justin Kerr. Button hooks at the half wall, works his way towards the line. Justin Kerr possessing the puck. Below the goal line now, making his rounds in the Wranglers zone. Still has the puck towards the slot, and then they score! McDonald with the goal for Lone Star, and it's a shorthanded tally that ties the game up at 1. And the Wranglers really rebuilt that power play unit. Not quite sure that's what they had in mind, as it's a shorthanded goal from Jacob McDonald to tie the game up at 1 with 7:52 remaining in the second period. It's going to go to McDonald. Justin Kerr picking up the lone assist, and it is a shorthanded tally on Lone Star's first goal of the game. Wranglers looking to get it back. Still got 18 seconds of power play time to work with, but they'll have to start from their own zone. Nolan Gagnon leading the charge. Newly named assistant captain will work it into the Brahmas zone. Morris has it. Jacob Miller on the near side wall. Can't corral the puck, and looks like going the other way is Bergeron. Bergeron towards the goal, shoots, and it goes off the stick of Williams. Excellent defensive play there from the Dallas kid. Zadvernyuk, left point, shot there, save made by McDonough. Directed towards the far corner, picked up by Tess. Picks his head up, looking for someone in the middle. Wranglers direct him towards the corner, saying, no, we're not going to have any of that. As Amarillo will escape their own zone. Tunchikov throws the cross for Miller. Wranglers trying to hold possession here in the offensive zone. A couple players digging around for that puck, and Lone Star's able to come away with it. As Tess flips it towards himself. They'll chase after it. Williams gets to it first. Now the puck is pinned up against the near corner of the Wranglers zone. Tess comes away with it. Swing it around towards the far side corner. Justin Kerr checks over his shoulder. He'll pick up the puck, bank it off the wall for Eisenberg. Right point. Eisenberg below the goal line looking for Anthony Capello. Loses the puck. McNaughton will throw it along to the near side wall. Wranglers just trying to possess the puck in their own zone and escape any more danger. As Gagnon from behind his own net, he evades a hit, gets back out the center, but going to be an icing on the Wranglers, so they'll have to stay in their own zone. 6:19 remaining in the second period. It's a tie game now as Jacob McDonald picks up the goal for Lone Star. It's his 5th of the season. So he's got 5 goals and 3 assists in 7 games. He's off to a good start this season with the Brahmas, as he makes it a 1-1 game courtesy of Justin Kerr. 7:52 into the second period. And we'll be back in just a few moments to see the conclusion of the second period on NATV and YouTube.
This is Colin Doherty, and you're listening to Wranglers Hockey on YouTube.
Welcome back to the Budweiser Bull Pen, where just moments ago the Brahmas tied up the game at 1 with a shorthanded goal from Jacob McDonald. No relation to Jack McDonald, as he made it a 1-1 game on a shorthanded tally. That's currently where we stand in the late stages of the second period. It'll be a defensive zone draw for the Wranglers. Gets caught up in the skates of Ben Ivy. Able to pass it along to Jack McDonald. Stretch pass here looking for Jack Ivy. Goes by him. He'll chase after that loose puck. Wranglers deep into Brahma territory, trying to pick that puck away. And the Brahmas, not having any of that, will skid it back out to center. Colin Doherty up ahead for Ben Ivy into offensive territory. Throws it off the end wall. It's off the back of the net. Colin Doherty racing down to pinch it in. McDonald towards the slot. Picked up by DeMarco. Cross looking for Zapp, but it was a no-looker. I don't think Zapp was ready for it. Wranglers still possess the puck here as Jack Ivy loses it below the goal line. Back out at center. DeMarco trying to hold it in as a big hit there on Borak by McDonald. Now Jacob McDonald in the meantime swings it down low for Ivan Zadvernyuk. Loses the puck there as the Wranglers bring in the heat. Jack McDonald throws it off the far side wall, picked up by Papaspropoulos. He moves into offensive territory. Spin move, backhand shot. Stick save made there by Rolovs. Papaspropoulos looking for his second of the game. Kopi Pukkanen, far side wall. Wraps it around towards the near side. It'll be picked up there by Masick. Up ahead he's got Tess. He'll slam it down deep as he takes a hit there from Pukkanen. Roberts back out to center. Papaspropoulos across for Zapp. Right point. Finds Jeffers. Down low. Pukkanen. High slot. McRoberts. Cross for Zapp. He'll drift towards the half wall. Right point. Jeffers fires. And it went wide. Picked up by McRoberts. Trying to muscle his way down deeper into the Brahmas zone. Puck is free. And comes to Brock James. Ping pongs around a bit. Zapp will lift it back down towards the Brahmas zone. Pukkanen near half wall. Trying to muscle the puck away from the Brahmas. Lone Star. Eisenberg swings it back out to the line, and the Wranglers will regain it at center ice. Roland Gagnon with 5 multi-point games this season, one of the team leaders in that category. There's D to D. Wranglers try and get it back up ahead. Goes off a body, and Lone Star looking to flip the script. Eisenberg from his own zone gets Keskin Tepe up ahead for Justin Kerr. Drop pass. As he got McDonald on his backhand. Can't get the shot away. As make that Capello towards the slot for Masick, and a pad save there by McDonough. Below the goal line. Centering pass goes through a few people. Picked up by Stepanek, and he gets it back out to the neutral zone. Lone Star bringing the heat here as they dump it back in. Goes by McDonough. Picked up by Curl. Throw it on goal, but we get a whistle with 3:35 to go in the second. As we see the linesman bring a broken stick back towards the Brahmas bench. Looks like this draw is going to be to the right of Deves Rolovs, far circle of the Brahmas zone as you see it on NATV, the exclusive streaming platform of the North American Hockey League. Connor McNaughton will take this draw for Amarillo. He's had himself a heck of a season so far, as McNaughton playing in his 20th game with the Wranglers this season. 7 goals, 6 assists, 13 points. As he's well equipped to break his career marks in the league. Doherty can't hold it in at the line. DeMarco sends it back down low. It'll roll along towards the far side wall where Grayson Gerhardt will meet it up and pick up that puck. Grayson Gerhardt always so strong on the forecheck, trying to evade the pressure from Atiri. Not this time, as the Brahmas take the puck and go the other way. Borak gains the center line and will flip it in. Looks like that puck went out of play at the Brahmas bench, then bounced back in. So we get a stoppage with 3:13 to go in the second period. Shots are 15-14 in favor of Lone Star. Tight game. We wouldn't expect anything different between the Wranglers and the Brahmas. So this draw will be right at the center dot on the Wranglers logo. And it'll be won by Lone Star. Atiri Dumps the puck down. Doherty loses an edge, gets back to his feet. Tries to play it along for Morris. He's racing after it. Hamstead below the goal line. Can't possess the puck. Doherty on his backhand. Will send it along the near side wall, but not out. Pinballs around. It's in the skates of Morris. Lone Star's able to pry it free. Left side shot. Save made by McDonough. It was a Thierry on that try. And afterwards, you got some chaos here. Top of the blue paint. Looks like Hamstead was jousting with Doherty. Even Pyle and Kyle DeMarco going at it. And behind the net, you've got Tommy Tunchikov and Antti Thierry. There's no love lost between South Division foes. 2:45 to go in the second. 1-1. So this draw is going to be to the right of Connor McDonough as he talks things over with Ben Ivy, who will be the representative for the Wranglers on this draw. Across from him, you got Justin Kerr, all in the near circle of the Wranglers zone. Wranglers crowding the slot here. He's got 4 men in front of McDonough. Nobody to the right of Ben Ivy. Meanwhile, you've got Murakami waiting at the blue line as this puck goes back out to the neutral zone. And then some as it'll roll towards Roll-Offs, and they'll keep it moving for Murakami. Murakami off the right side wall. He's got Kerr in the neutral zone. Justin Kerr drops it off for Owen Kerr. Up ahead, you've got Anthony Capello behind the net. Tries to center it off a body. A few players go down. And after all of that, the Wranglers are going to take the puck and skate it back out to center. Puck down low in the Brahmas zone now. Thierry. Wranglers centering past McDonald. Behind the net, tries to center it. Goes off a few bodies. Picked up by Ben Ivy. Left circle and a save made by Roll-Offs on his chance. McDonald tries to throw it back towards the slot, goes off the back of the net, and now everybody crowds the puck. It's bouncing around behind the goal, pinned up against the back of the net, and eventually it's worked free by Justin Kerr. At center ice now, Anthony Capello, left side, trying to go back to Kerr. He's off a defensive stick of the Wranglers, and they will go the other way. Zap, right side for Puukkonen. Off his skate, he'll corral it. Button hooks at the half wall. Puukkonen shimming his way below the goal line. He'll twist once more on his forehand to the line. Papaspropoulos couldn't handle that pass. And Brock James after through the races looking for it. McDonough beats him to it. And that pass will go off the wall and roll back down for Steve's Roll-Offs, who, seeing the heat from Topi Puukkonen on the forecheck, was not going to take his chances as he gloves it down with 1:12 to go in the second. Steve's Roll-Offs, the Latvian goaltender for Lone Star, also shouldered a large workload for the Brahmas, as this is game number 23 for Lone Star this year. This is his 17th start of the season, or I guess his 17th appearance of the season. He's got a record of 11-5 on the year, a 1.63 goals against average and a .924 save percentage, all with one shutout coming into the evening. I think it's safe to say that he's making a good bid for goalie of the year. As Brahmas win a defensive zone draw. Center ice, Zavranyuk tries to take a hack at it. Stepanek will weasel it free and get it back out towards the neutral zone. 1 minute to go here from the bullpen. Brahmas up ahead, get their pockets picked by McNaughton. He'll launch it towards the neutral zone. Brahmas possession once more. Zavranyuk tapped off his stick, tried to give chase, but he was converged on by the Wranglers defense. McNaughton into offensive territory. Backhands it below the goal line. After it is Grayson Gerhardt. Pins his man up against the board. Wranglers trying to get that puck free. Gerhardt at the doorstep, and he can't get the shot away. Roll-Offs was ready for it. Zavranyuk. As the puck pinned up against the boards. Picked free by Brock James. Between the D, takes a shot in and out of the glove of McDonough. Juggles it for a moment, and he'll hold with 19.2 to go in the second. And once again, we get a cluster of bodies as everybody's got a word for somebody else. Although, what else is new? It's to be expected. Brahmas will get fresh men on the ice. You've got Bergeron, Capello, Justin Kerr out there. Emmons, Murakami manning the blue line. The Wranglers, you've got Ben Ivey, Williams, McDonald, Jack Ivey, and Nolan Gagnon. And once again, the Wranglers crowding the slot. As off this draw, Lone Star wins it. Right point, Murakami waits, drifts towards the high slot, takes a shot, and it goes off the end while might have hit a stick out in front. Backhand pass goes off a body, and we get a stoppage here. Looks like we're going to get a penalty with 10 seconds to go in the second. Who is the guilty culprit? We shall see. Door to the Wranglers penalty box is open, and in climbs Jack McDonald. So the Brahmas will get their first power play of the game with 10 seconds to go in the second. It's a high sticking penalty to Jack McDonald. And Lone Star will get a crack at it on the man advantage. They don't score here to end the second period in that 10-second time frame. They'll have a minute 50 of power play time to start with at the top of the third. So, Ivan Zavernyuk will take the draw against Jack Ivey, and Zavernyuk wins it. Murakami muscling down low, drops it off. Slot for Ingles, and his shot goes off the shin of Ben Ivey. Puck is held in, and it goes on goal, but time will expire. And that'll do it for the second period of play. So, after 40 minutes, we're tied at 1. Wranglers goal coming in the first period from Alex Papaspropoulos. And the Brahmas goal coming in the second frame from Jacob McDonald. And that's where we stand after 2 periods of play. So we'll recap the first 2 periods. Look ahead towards the third period. Look at some scores from around the league. I know I promised that in the first intermission, but kind of got carried away. But hey, looks like things will be in the thick of things now. So we'll look at some scores from around the league, particularly pertaining to the South Division, as it's another busy night in the North American Hockey League. Preview the third and see what we have in store as we head towards the final period of play. All that coming up next on the second intermission report from downtown Amarillo. We'll be back in just a few minutes on NATV and YouTube. Good evening, and welcome into the second intermission report, where it's a 1-1 game after 40 minutes of play. I'm Guy Chiarenza, bringing you all the action from downtown Amarillo. Well, looks like nothing's new. It's going to be a close Wranglers game. We've said it before, we'll say it again. Seems like every time the Wranglers step out on the ice, it's going to be a close game. But good news for the Wranglers is close games, oftentimes they've come away victorious. As the Wranglers this season posting up a pretty solid record of 9-2-2 in 1 or 2 goal games. So, hey, Wranglers not in bad shape, but this is a Brahmas team that looks at the score and says, yeah, we can work with that. We like what we see. Even though the Brahmas coming with 2 pretty big blowout wins against the El Paso Rhinos last weekend, where they took down El Paso 6-2 one night, and then the next night 5-1. Taking care of the second place team in the division pretty handily. So it looks like the Brahmas shaping up to be a good team this season. Only 2 goals on the board so far in this game. It's 1 for the Wranglers, 1 for the Brahmas. Wranglers' goal was scored with 5:06 remaining in the first period. Comes from Alex Papaspropoulos, as Topi Pukin had the puck on his stick, kind of just trying to drive towards the net, trying to make something out of nothing. Ended up getting knocked down. Puck was kind of free between the circles, and Papaspropoulos said, well, thank you very much. I'll take that loose puck and take it to the bank. And he did, and he made it a 1-0 game. That's where we stood after 20 minutes of play. At that point, we just had 1 penalty on the board, and it went to the Lone Star Brahmas. Wranglers were 0 for 1 on the power play in the first period. In the second period, only 1 goal in that frame, and it went the Brahmas' way, as it was Jacob McDonald picking up his 5th goal of the year, 5th goal in 7 games on the season. Not a bad mark, considering he's also got, looks like 3 assists on the year, so he's having himself quite the campaign. He gets that goal short-handed from Justin Kerr. 7:52 remaining in the second period to make it a 1-1 game. This was just one of those plays where we talked about the Wranglers kind of trying to reinvent their power play, and it kind of showed that guys weren't really on the same page. It to me looked like a unit that was still trying to gel. They really didn't look all that much on the same page, and as a result of that, it looked like they weren't able to possess the puck a whole lot on that power play, but you also got to give a lot of credit to the Brahma penalty kill. They did an excellent job of taking the puck away from the Wranglers and really possessing the puck, not really just in any facet of the ice, but more so in the Wranglers zone. I think we saw Justin Kerr circling around in the Wranglers zone like a vulture, just kind of looking for that perfect avenue to score, and lo and behold, he found it. Kind of worked his way below the goal line, popped out kind of on the near side, centered it out in front, and there waiting with open arms was Jacob McDonald for the goal to tie it up at 1. It's a shorthanded tally, so the Wranglers not only go 0 for 2 on the power play so far in this game, and also give up that shorthanded goal. So not ideal for the Wranglers on that power play, but you got to take the good from the bad. It's a unit that's still trying to gel, so good chance that they have some more cracks at it here throughout the course of the weekend. It looks like power play chances are going to be at a premium. So hopefully they get more cracks at it to get that unit to gel. See what comes out of it. In the meantime, Brahmas have only had 1 power play opportunity so far in the game. That currently is underway. 10 seconds gone after that, as Jack McDonald went to the box with 10 seconds remaining in the second period. And got 2 minutes for a high sticking, so he will currently serve 1:50 at the top of the third period, where the Brahmas will have their first power play opportunity of the game. We'll have a lot of time to talk about it, think about what they want to do here on the man advantage heading into the third period. I said in the open that this could be a race to 3. Who knows, it could be a race to 2. This is one of those games where the next goal very well could be the game winner, considering the way that both goalies are playing. Connor McDonough stopping 17 of 18. And Lone Star's Deves Roloff stopping 16 of 17. I think we all knew that coming into this game, that we got 2 really good goaltenders that have really shouldered a lot of the workload in Deves Roloff and Connor McDonough. I think we knew that there was a really high chance this would be a low-scoring game, with both goaltenders playing really well to start the year. I think we knew that was going to be the case coming into this matchup. So to me, it's no surprise that we've got a 1-1 game here on the board. And so it very well feels like that, well, next goal may or may not be the game winner, but that next goal is super important to whoever scores it. Kind of feels like to me that that goal would have more weight for the Wranglers than it would the Brahmas, as really Lone Star, if they're able to get the lead here late in the third period, this is a team that really can clamp down and really just play shutdown defense if they want to. And we've seen it from when we went to NYTEX and saw the Brahmas play. So it seems like that next goal, if it went the Brahmas' way, to be well equipped to come away with the victory at that score held at 2-1. For the Wranglers, I think if they're able to play with the lead here in the third period, I think it would mean a lot more to Amarillo than it would Lone Star, considering that Wranglers are a team that likes to play with the lead. Really don't want to have to play from behind against a Brahmas team that instead will play that clamp down, shutdown defense. So I really think that it's imperative that the Wranglers get that next goal in the game. So you look up and down the lineup as to who could be the lucky goal scorer for the Wranglers here. Who could be that hero? And you look throughout the course of the lineup, and this is the Wranglers team that got a lot of guys on this roster that can score. It's not Drew Jeffers, not afraid to take some chances. Who knows? Maybe he finds one to go past Steve's roll-ons. Ben Ivey is also playing quite well. Jack Ivey on a 2-game goal-scoring streak, had a goal in each of the games against the New Mexico Ice Wolves. He's always a guy that seems like every time he steps out on the ice, he's always a threat to score. And so look for the Ivey twins on that top line with Jack McDonald to potentially get things done for the Wranglers if they're able to score here in the third period. You also got to point your finger at Connor McNaughton and say, well, that's always a dangerous guy on the ice, and for good reason. He's had himself a hot start to the year. Connor McNaughton on pace to break his NHL career records. As last season with the Wranglers, in 50 games, 11 goals and 7 assists for 18 points. Well, through 19 games, he's got 13 points, so all indicators say that Connor McNaughton is due for a career year. So far, he's been one of the Wranglers' most consistent forwards in the lineup when it comes to scoring. But you want to talk about consistency? Topi Pukkanen. This is a guy that he can score, he can make plays, as he's got 9 goals, 10 assists. Will make that 9 goals and 11 assists through 20 games played. He's now got 20 points on the year for the Wranglers. He's the first skater on the team to really break that 20-point mark as he leads the team in scoring. He's always a guy that he's got the puck on his stick. It's a good chance to score. I really like that second line for the Wranglers of Papaspropoulos, Zapp, and Pukkanen. Looks like that's the Wranglers' most consistent line all season long. That was a line that really came together at the NHL Showcase and has stuck all the way through. Not only can this line score, they can also back check, forecheck, really whatever Ryan Anderson wants them to do, they can get the job done. As all 3 guys on that line are some of the leaders on the team in plus-minus. Roman Zapp headlining that with a +7 on the year. So that's a line that's always dangerous when it's out there, but really a guy that I think is due, well due, to not only get his first goal of the season, but his first point in the North American Hockey League. Grayson Gerhardt, man, this is a guy that when he has the puck on his stick, he can make plays, but it seems like sometimes he's better when he doesn't have the puck on his stick. And of course, I'm talking about his forecheck. I mean, it just seems like he's a monster on the forecheck for the Wranglers. It seems like he's always in the thick of things, and he's always able to make things tough for the opposition from their own territory. See if he can pick up that first goal of the season and in his NHL career. So he was a 9th-round draft pick for the Wranglers in this summer's draft. Really making himself a staple on the lineup. Seems like he's found a home on that third line with McNaughton and Stepanek. Look for Grayson Gerhardt to maybe not score in this game, but maybe look for him to factor in on a goal here in the third period. Who knows, maybe overtime might be in the question. With a game like this, maybe we might have to start thinking about overtime, but looks like we've got a lot of time to be played. 20 minutes until that happens, so we'll see. We'll see. When we come back on the second intermission report, we'll look at some scores from around the league, check in on the South Division standings, see what's going on in the North American Hockey League. We'll preview the third period a little bit more. By then, we should have third period puck drop from the bullpen. We'll be back in just a few minutes on NATV and YouTube.
This is Colin Doherty, and you're listening to Wranglers Hockey on YouTube.
Welcome back to Amarillo, where we'll take a peek at what's going on around the league. We'll look at some scores from around the South Division. As it looks like, over in Shreveport, the Odessa Jackalopes with a 1-0 lead at the top of the third period. Who saw that one coming? Only goal of the game coming from Theodore Manlove, 4:03 into the first period. So Odessa maybe trying to shock the world here and taking down the Mudbugs in Mudbug land. I think I can call it that, Mudbug land. A little bit more fun than Shreveport. I'm sure Brahma fans would very much like the Mudbugs to lose this evening against an Odessa team that's trying to work up to the 500 mark with a record of 7-9-1-1 this year. Of course, we got our game going on. That's 1-1. We're about to start third period action here in just a few moments. Over at Blazers Ice Center, Oklahoma Warriors have a 3-0 lead over the Corpus Christi Ice Rays in the second intermission. Oklahoma getting goals from Caden Nelson, Cooper Boolinger, and William Ulrich. Looks like he's returned to the lineup. He did not play in that series that the Wranglers played against the Warriors. William Ulrich picks up that third goal for Oklahoma. Over in New Mexico, at Outpost Ice Arenas, where the Wranglers were last weekend, New Mexico has a 2-1 lead over the Colorado Grit. About 6 minutes remaining in the first period. New Mexico, one of those teams that maybe not the quickest start to the season so far, but they are starting to come around. Actually, no, I rescind that statement. They're 11-6-2-1 on the year. This is a team that has played the least amount of games in the division, so really it's not so much about a slow start to the year. It's just they haven't really played as much games as anybody else. So kind of sneakily sliding their way into the conversation. Caught myself off guard, spreading a little bit of misinformation as the Ice Wolves just a point behind the Wranglers. So the Ice Wolves are a team that really kind of snuck up behind me. They're in the mix in the South Division. We talk about those muddy waters in the South. You've got two teams in Shreveport and New Mexico tied at 23 points in the 5th and 6th place. Amarillo and Oklahoma tied at 24 for the 3rd and 4th spot. El Paso in 2nd with 27 points, and the Brahmas way up at the top with 31 points, 4 above El Paso. Brahmas on a 3-game win streak. That is the longest in the division right now. Looks like second longest in the league, only to Mino and Johnstown, who both won 4 in a row. So that's the North American Hockey League for you. Things can change in a moment. It looks like the Ice Wolves trying to climb back into the top of the South Division. Really, if the Wranglers lose here tonight and the Ice Wolves pick up 2 points against Colorado, there's a chance that New Mexico could vault all their way up into the 3rd place in the division. That's how close it is. So talk about while these are technically still considered early season games, you really got to have that mentality of every point counts. This is one of those divisions where we know it's going to be a crowded group at the end of the season. We know that with 9 teams in the division this year, there's probably going to be 1 or 2 good teams, maybe 3 good teams that end up missing the playoffs. I think about only 4 out of 9 make it to the playoffs. That's under half of the division making the postseason. So you got to think there's a few good teams that might miss the mark, and not because they're bad teams, just because there's so many good teams in the South. So that's why it'll be interesting to see as we approach the holiday season, really who emerges at the top of the pack. Seems like in previous years, there's always a team that seems to kind of rally and get that last spot. Last year it was Amarillo, but this year, with as many good teams as it is in the South Division, that might not be possible. You might have to be good consistently throughout the course of the year if you want to find your way into a playoff spot. Both of these teams consistently having winning records coming into this game as they both out for the third period puck drop, and away we go for third period action from Amarillo. Center ice, drop pass, Ingles finds Murakami. Don't forget that the Brahmas are on the man advantage for the next minute and 35 seconds as Amarillo dumps it down to kill some time off that opening third period power play for Lone Star. Their first of the game. And Ivy finds Jack Ivy being disruptive here, shorthanded. As Ben Ivy will go off, on comes McNaughton. Jack Ivy stays out there. Lone Star gets their pocket picked by Jack Ivy. Moves in towards the goal. Jack Ivy shoots, and a save made by Rolovs. My goodness, puck comes to Jeffers, and he shoots it towards the goal. Pinballs around. It'll be picked up by McDonald for Lone Star. What a shift there for Jack Ivy, as saw Lone Star score a shorthanded goal in the second period and said, yeah, I can do that. And he almost did, as Amarillo being disruptive, shorthanded. Here they are again from their own zone. McRoberts tries to get it out, held in. Left point, Atiri to the line, calling for it is Brock James. He shoots, and it goes off the end wall. Picked up by Borak. Below the goal line, tries to backhand it to Atiri, and he's got him. Left point, Atiri finds Borak, far half wall, down low. Back up to the left point, Atiri, across, James. Trying to go left circle for Borak, but the pass is picked off by McRoberts, and he'll send it down the length of the ice. Just 15 seconds remaining, and then Jack McDonald will come out of the penalty box. We'll go back to 5-on-5. Lone Star in, James with speed, finds Bergeron, high slot drop pass, Justin Kerr shoots, and it goes high and wide. Along the near side wall. Bergeron keeps it moving, but he finds nobody but Wranglers, as Gagnon finds Papaspropoulos. Works it left side for Williams. Lifts it high and deep as it comes to Roman Zapp, far side wall. He's pinned up against the boards. In the fray is Papaspropoulos. Trying to get that puck free are the Wranglers. Brahmas and Wranglers converge alike as it squeaks free to Anthony Capello. He'll twist away from Topi Pukkanen. Tries to dish it off as the puck is free for a moment, and the Wranglers can't hold it in, but on the forecheck is Papaspropoulos at the red line. Bergeron dumps it in. Chasing after it is Owen Kerr as the rest of his line goes off for a change. Anthony Capello has it below the circle, takes a shot. Save made by McDonough, sweeps it away back to the near corner. Capello picks it up towards the circle, shoots, and a pad save by McDonough on that chance. Capello still putting in good work to the circle for a shot, goes off a body and into the glove of McDonough. What a shift there for Anthony Capello as he's trying to get Lone Star's second goal of the game. Give his team a 1-goal lead, but Wranglers weren't having any of it. It's still tied at 1, 17-18 remaining in the third. So you see Brock James out there for Lone Star. Really kind of burst onto the scene this season as he's got the A on his sweater. 16 games played, got 25 points. It's just outstanding for Brock James. I remember him when we went to Ninetech Sports Center where the Wranglers played the Brahmas for that 2-game set. He impressed me and he impressed a lot of people. Seems like every week he's up for South Division Star honors. It's below the goal line. Wranglers trying to escape their own zone, and they do. Puck rolls back out to center, goes off the skate of the official. Picked up by Brock James, but just a little too quickly as the Brahmas are offside with 17:09 to go in the third. Brahmas send a few guys off the ice here. We got McDonald coming on with Borak. And off goes Brock James. Looks like Hampstead going off with him. So it'll be Zadvernyuk against Ben Ivy at the neutral zone dot, crossing the Wranglers bench. I'd like to extend a congratulations to Ivan Zadvernyuk, as earlier this week it was announced that he has committed to play at Brown University. We always like to see that for any player in this league, so a big congratulations to Ivan Zadvernyuk as he'll throw it on goal, paddle away by McDonough. Zadvernyuk behind the goal, tries to make something happen offensively, gets it up to the right point. Brahmas swing it back around towards the far side wall. Ben Ivy will meet it. Drop pass for Doherty. He'll find DeMarco behind his own goal. It's a left wing breakout, stymied there by Justin Kerr at the Wrangler blue line. Delayed offside on the Brahmas. As that offside will now happen with 16:31 to go in the third. We got some fans dancing around here in the Budweiser Bull Pen. Lively crowd here from Amarillo. Wranglers fans always some of the most vocal in the league, although I will give Brahma fans credit. They can get loud, especially when I'm sitting over at NYTEX and I'm in the really kind of in the middle of the fans. They can get loud, they can get disruptive. It's a hostile environment, what can I say? Although I do enjoy NYTEX Sports Center. As the puck rolls to Deves Rolovs. I like the Budweiser Bull Pen a lot better though, don't get me wrong. As the puck floats up into the air, bounces by Drew Jeffers deep in his own zone. He will handle the puck and get things started for Amarillo. As left side, Jacob Miller paddles along for Luke Morris. Left side, Luke Morris on his backhand, throws it on goal, and a save made by Rolovs. And afterwards, we got a bit of a scrum here as Morris is tied up with Justin Kerr. As a couple other players found a dance partner. A little under 4 minutes into the third period. Shots are 21-18 in favor of Lone Star, but it's a 1-1 game. As close as they come. For the Wranglers, on comes that second line. Zapp, Papaspropoulos, and Pukkanen. Been oh so good this season, already connected for a goal in this game. The Wranglers' first and only goal of the game came from Papaspropoulos, courtesy of Topi Pukkanen. On the blue line, you've got Trey Williams and Nolan Gagnon. As George, the equipment manager, stitched on that new A for Gagnon, as he's been named assistant captain earlier today. Wranglers trying to keep it into the Brahmas zone. Papaspropoulos can't handle it for the moment, and Borak will come away with it. And it goes back onto the stick of Papaspropoulos. He must have a magnet in there that's just gravitating the puck towards his stick as he's caught it once more. Drops it off for Gagnon. We'll go D to D for Williams. Wranglers looking to break things out here. Williams, the Dallas kid, finds Papaspropoulos, glanced off his skate. And offensively, it's Borak. Left side, up against the wall by Papaspropoulos. Puck goes behind McDonough. Gagnon. Moves it left side. The right point. A shot there is gloved down by McDonough. Coming from Bergeron of Lone Star. The Brahmas' 22nd shot of the game. 15:28 remaining in period 3. Wranglers get a wholesale change here. On comes TJ Ritchie, Connor McNaughton, Stepanek, Jeffers, Gerhard. We've seen that time and time before throughout the course of this game. It's either been TJ Ritchie or Henry McRoberts paired up with Drew Jeffers. Seems to be kind of a revolving door there. But it seems like whoever's put in that left D position on the third line, our third pairing, has done a really good job. As the Wranglers up ahead looking for Grayson Gerhard. Puck backtracks to Jeffers, gains center red, pushes it left side for McNaughton. One tap pass for Grayson Gerhard, near corner, gets pinned up by Bergeron. Weaseled free by McNaughton on his forehand. Gets directed towards the far side boards. Lone Star will chip it back out to center. Those are offside, it appears. Puck went in and out of the Brahmas zone very quickly with 15:03 remaining in the third. A lot going on here tomorrow night. It's going to be Sod Poodles night, where the Wranglers will celebrate the Sod Poodles 2023 Texas League Championship. I believe they will be present for puck drop, also a few festivities. I believe their mascot will be on the concourse, and it's also going to be the night where the Wranglers celebrate those in women's hockey in the Texas Panhandle. I believe there will be a second period parade honoring all the women in hockey. Is off the draw. Masick throws it towards the goal, goes off a skate, and pops out on the near side boards. A couple Wranglers swat at it. Brahmas return it with a pass below the goal line. McDonough keeps it moving. Left side, Tess throws it off that funny stanchion, and the Wranglers will get it back out to center. It's one of those buildings where you always got to know where the puck is at all times. It takes some unpredictable hops sometimes. Sometimes those gaps between the doors are wide open as Ben Ivey into offensive territory. Backhands it along towards the near side wall for Colin Doherty. Just to chip it up ahead, glove down by James, and he will lift it high and deep into Wrangler territory, and that's good enough for an icing with 14:19 to go in period 3. Shots are 19-21. I could have sworn the Brahmas had their 22nd shot. I guess they didn't give it to them. So it's a 2-shot margin. Brahmas lead 21-19. In the meantime, to the right of Deves Rolovs, Roman Zapp gets the draw to Puukkonen. Brahmas quick to retrieve it from the skates of Topi Puukkonen. They will just get it back out to center, not before a big hit is thrown in front of the scorer's table. It's Trey Williams. Floats it back to the neutral zone, bounces down, settled by Papaspropoulos. Up ahead looking for Zapp, and he throws it on goal. Dangerous play there, paddled away by Rolovs. Justin Kerr, right side. Lift it towards himself as he do a little bit of dump and chase. Wranglers will win that race though. Play it around in their own zone. It's Trey Williams. Feeling the heat, drops it off for Gagnon. Left wing is Papaspropoulos, going across for Zapp. Gains center red, now Brahmas blue. Only problem was Alex Papaspropoulos on the drop pass had not yet gained Brahmas blue. Wranglers are offside with 13:34 to go in the third. So at this point in the game, it kind of feels like that next goal is going to be the game winner. So you look at both sides, a lot of prolific scorers, but the thing about the Brahmas that really surprised me, we talked about it a little bit in the pregame show, is their goal differential is just so good. I mean, like they're plus 35 on the year. This is a team that really is known for being able to play defensively, but also can score, and that's what makes them such a dangerous team, as the Brahmas have iced the puck again with 13:29 to go in the third. And that's what makes Lone Star such a dangerous team, is not only can they defend quite well, they can also score and put the puck in the opposition net, and really that's a coach's dream. So, I mean, you compare the two teams, but both teams are getting things done in the win column. The only difference is the Wranglers almost even at the goal differential margin, whereas the Brahmas have that 30-something goal lead. This shows it's a tale of two teams sometimes. Offensive zone draw one by the Wranglers. Shot by DeMarco, goes off a few sticks. And it's picked up by Luke Morris below the goal line. Tries to keep possession, slides it to Miller. Near half wall, pinned up against the boards, no problem, as Jacob Miller is trying to corral it with his skate. He slaps it along towards the right point, where it'll be waited for by Kyle DeMarco. Sends it down low once more. Looking for Tommy Chunchikov. Brahmas trying to exit their own zone. Wranglers making it tough on him, as Doherty slaps it around towards that right point once more. It's held in by Luke Morris. Below the goal line, after it is Jacob Miller. With him is Ray Murakami. Miller throws a big hit on Murakami on the near wall. Gets back up to his feet, and the Brahmas possess the puck, but not for long, as Luke Morris was in the area. Lone Star's Murakami will backhand it towards Ivan Zadvaryuk. Tries to play it off the wall, but leading that play was Colin Doherty, so good defensively for the Wranglers. It's left side, Atiri. Drop it down low. McDonough out to play it, although Zadvaryuk was in the area. Held in right point. Brahmas, Bergeron. Sends the puck behind the goal. It'll be picked up by DeMarco, still sporting that cage. Right side, Stepanek, who's sporting a sweet mustache, takes a spill in the offensive zone. Held in by Connor McNaughton, left point. Will wrap it down low. After it is the aforementioned Alex Stepanek. Wranglers throwing their weight around as Gerhard collides with Bergeron in the Brahmas zone. Looks like we get a puck out of play with 12:03 to go in the third. That third line of the Wranglers. They're playing the Breaking Bad theme song right now. I don't know why. I don't understand, but it seems like the Wranglers' third line is one of their best forechecking lines. We talked about Grayson Gerhard earlier on. He's done an excellent job. The Allen, Texas native. He's done a great job on the forecheck. You pair him with Connor McNaughton, who's turned into a prolific scorer, and Alex Stepanek, who's a good forechecker in his own right. We got ourselves a really good checking line that can also put the puck in the back of the net from time to time for the Wranglers. Offensive zone draw here. Ben Ivey leans in to take it against Brock James. James will send that puck off the end wall. Picked up by Emmons, and he will swing it back out to the neutral zone where it's met by Drew Jeffers. Drops it down low, slowed down by Rolovs. Emmons tries to play it out of his zone, hits a few sticks. Wranglers trying to keep it in, but Lone Star gets it back out to center. Tess up ahead for James, who takes a shot, save made by McDonough. Puck is loose. McDonald dangerously turns it over in front of his own net, and a turning shot goes wide. McRoberts might have gotten his stick in it at the last second. Might have saved the Wranglers from going down by one. Lone Star from the comforts of their own zone. Look to break out here, and they do. Left side. Brock James, make that Masick, plays into the Wranglers zone. Williams flips the script and goes the other way. Wranglers, in the offensive zone. McDonald across. Gondon shoots! Save made by Rolovs. We'll take a breather with 11:10 to go in the third period. Wranglers were knocking on the door in that last sequence, but Deeds Rolovs stood in the way. We'll be back in just a few moments on NATV and YouTube. Welcome back to the Texas Panhandle, where it's a game that's as close as they come. 1-1 with 11:10 to go in the third. Brahmas lead the shot count by 2, 23-21. One of those games where it feels like it's anybody's game. Both teams have had good chances offensively throughout the course of this one. McNaughton on the offensive zone draw will lean in and take it. Wins it. Stepanek one-timer blocked out in front. He's looking for his first goal as a Wrangler. Stepanek drops it off for McNaughton near corner. Swinging along towards the right point for Gagnon. Down low, met by the Brahmas. Contested there by Gerhard. Loose puck there is corralled by Ingles. As Gerhard on the forecheck tries to weasel it free. Forces the Brahmas to dump it towards the Wrangler zone. Will be handled by Williams, and now exchanges with Gagnon. At center, Stepanek evades a hit. Left side, McNaughton towards the goal, and it goes off the end boards. Will be picked up by Stepanek, far corner. Tries to kick it back towards Gerhard, but the Brahmas get in the way of that. So get it back out to center, where Gerhard will reset. Gains center red. Fires it off the near side wall, chases after it. Lone Star able to settle it down and go back in on a breakout offensively. Left side, it's Justin Kerr. Shadowing him, Colin Doherty. They collide in the far corner of the Wranglers zone where Papaspropoulos is able to steal the puck out of the pile. Alex Papaspropoulos on his backhand. Turns it over below the goal line. In the fray is Jacob McDonald, the Brahma goal scorer. His goal coming shorthanded in the second period. So the Wranglers are able to free the puck from their own zone. Right side, it's Roman Zapp stopping and pivoting. Gets it to Papaspropoulos over the line. Wines towards the goal and out. To play it is Steve's Rolovs. Down low, it's Pukkanen. Across for a shot that goes wide. Picked up right point by DeMarco. Swings it down low. Meeting it is Antti Atiri, but on his footsteps is Topi Pukkanen. Puck bouncing around, and the Brahmas are able to smack it off the near side wall back out to center ice. Wranglers able to possess it once more as Papaspropoulos circles in his own zone and goes right back on the attack. Gains center ice, and puck gets caught up in the skates of the head official. Wranglers will dump it down as they get a partial change here. On come Miller and McRoberts. Now DeMarco goes off. On comes Drew Jeffers. Meanwhile, Murakami from his zone, behind his own net, gets it to the neutral zone where it's played by Masick into offensive territory, tries to split the D, and he was stood up by Henry McRoberts. Excellent play there from the Michigan native. Right side, Jacob Miller gains center red. Now Brahmas blue. Fires it off the end glass. Morris chasing after it in the near corner of the Brahmas zone. A couple players converge here. Is everybody trying to get a piece of that puck? Like a slice of pie on Thanksgiving. Everybody wants that piece of pie. Who's going to come away with that puck? Or maybe they might just blow the whistle. I don't know. Got a lot of guys kicking at the puck over there. Still no whistle blown. They're just going to keep this thing rolling along. So 8:13 on the clock in the third period. Now finally, Test is able to skate it out of the pile. Right side, Bergeron evades a hit from Jeffers at center ice, and he taps it down towards McDonough. Puck back in the Brahmas zone. They will look to go back on offense here. Wranglers get another change. Under 8 minutes to go in the third. Tunchikov to backhand it off the near side wall for McDonald. Pass wouldn't go. And here come the Brahmas. Justin Kerr towards the slot, tries to do it himself, and the Wranglers converge on and steal the puck away. Here comes McDonald into offensive territory. Looks for a trailer. Goes across. He's got Jack Ivey. Right circle. Shoots towards the slot. And Wranglers going to get a shot away. Down low again. And it goes through the top of the blue paint. And the Brahmas will escape any more danger. They get it back out to center. The Wranglers looking to go right back on the attack. As on the forecheck, McDonald tries to one-hand pass. Looking for Jack Ivey. Just goes right in front of him. As he'll chase after it. Wranglers looking here to turn the tides. As the Brahmas from their own zone lift it back out to center. Momentum shifting towards the Wranglers' way as Gagnon backhands it into Brahma territory. Murakami takes a hit from Ben Ivey, but not before he dishes it off to Atiri. Atiri at center ice. Splits the D. Atiri towards the Wranglers' zone. Lost a handle on the puck at the last second. Colin Doherty will pick up that loose change. From the comfort of his own zone, we'll get it back to Gagnon, who waits behind his own net, but not for long. He'll backhand it back out towards center. Takes a few hops. Batted down by Eisenberg. Picked up by Jack Ivey. Send it back into the Brahmas zone. Wranglers get another partial change here. As McNaughton and Stepanek come on. As the Brahmas have iced the puck with 6:35 to go in the third, so the Wranglers are now able to get that full change that they wanted to. Looks like they're trying to get that third line out on the ice. And they do. 6:35 remaining in the third period. Shot count 23-21 for the Brahmas. Offensive zone draw for the Wranglers. It'll be on the far circle of the Brahmas zone to the left of Steve's Rolovs, who has stopped 20 of 21 so far. Connor McDonough for the Wranglers has stopped 22 of 23. Lone Stars. Emmon gets it out of his zone. At center ice, DeMarco goes across. Racing after it is McNaughton. First man on it is Eisenberg for Lone Star. He will swing it back into the Wranglers zone. After it is DeMarco. Possesses it and gets it to Doherty. Left side. Twirls away from the pressure. Gets pinned up in the corner. Brahmas steal the puck away. Right point. It's Emmons. Harshly off the near side wall. Down low for Zavernyuk. Right point. Emmons once more. Across for a shot there from Ingles. Goes off a stick and wide. In the corner. Tess tries to go for Brock James. He's got him. Brock James turns and shoots, and it goes high and wide. Right point. Emmons. James is calling for it. Emmons shoots it towards the slot. Goes off a body. Really picked up by Gerhard, and he gets it out of his own zone. Both teams get a partial change here. As possession goes back the Brahmas' way. It's Emmons once again. He's got it behind his own net in his own zone. As they'll start the breakout here for Lone Star. Right side attack. It's off the stick of Masick. The Wranglers get possession back as they'll fly it deep into the Brahmas zone. Zapp takes a check there. Wranglers want a penalty. They're not going to get it. As Brahmas come away from their own zone. Wranglers go quickly the other way, but Zapp is offside with 5:09 to go in the third. Zapp will head back towards the bench. Looks like both teams are going to make a change here. On come Morris, Miller, and Chunchikov. Jeffers and McRoberts on the blue line. For the Brahmas, you've got Bergeron, Pyle, Hamstead, Cascantepe, and looks like Bryce Ingles back there as well. From center ice, it's picked up by Hamstead. Moves in towards the Wranglers zone, goes by the D on his backhand towards the goal, collides with McDonough. Puck is free, and the Brahmas still have it. Left point, Cascantepe takes a shot. McDonough's lost his stick, now he gets it back as the Wranglers will exit their own zone. Good chance there for Lone Star, and Hamstead makes it happen. Puck back on his stick, right circle, drops it off. Eisenberg towards the middle, goes off a body. Left point, James shoots, and it goes wide. Might have got tipped out in front. Goes back out to center. Lone Star looking to regroup here. Get the next goal of the game, which may be the game winner. Up ahead. Off the stick of Kerr. He'll regain possession towards the slot. Goes off a skate. Ben Ivy in the area, and McDonough is able to pounce on it with 4:22 remaining in period 3. So a couple dangerous chances there for the Brahmas. Almost converted into a scoring chance. But after all that, still tied at 1. And that's hockey for you. One of the most unpredictable sports in the world. Draw will be to the left of McDonough in the Wranglers zone. Near circle as you see it on NATV. Ben Ivy will lean in to take the draw against Jacob McDonald. McDonald gets it to himself off that draw. Goes below the goal line. Gagnon takes a spill, and that's going to be a penalty on Lone Star. It's going to be tripping, and I believe Matthias Borak is the guilty culprit. Not a lot of penalties in this game, but 3 of them have gone against Lone Star, and wow. Critical play here in this game. Late stages of the third period, Wranglers are going to get ahead to the power play. This would be a good time for that power play to start clicking. It is Matthias Borak, 2 minutes for tripping. With 4:14 to go in the third. And so for the Wranglers, you've got Pukkanen, Ben and Jack, Ivy, McDonald, and Gagnon out there on the power play. Looks like that's the same first power play unit that the Wranglers had in New Mexico. See if they can get the job done. Off that draw, left point, Gagnon skates towards the high slot, turns and shoots, and a save made by Rolovs. So they test him early on the power play. Just 5 seconds in, Rolovs is able to make the stop. Next draw will be to the left of Deeves Rolovs, far circle of the Brahmas zone. Still got same unit that was out there for Amarillo to start the power play. Brock James on the penalty kill for Lone Star. Looks like Ingles, Cascantepe, and Bergeron out there as well for Lone Star, short-handed. Puck moves towards the slot. It's free for the moment. Right point, Jack Ivy, top of the circle towards the slot, goes off a stick. Ben Ivy couldn't corral it in time as Lone Star skates it back out to center. Bergeron, high slot, drifts towards his left, turns and shoots. Pad save by McDonough, short-handed. 1:36 to go on the man advantage for Amarillo. Big time sequence in the game here. Right side, McDonald over the attacking line. Goes to the left point for Gagnon. Sweep it around towards the far side wall. Now back below the goal line. Puukkonen converges on the puck. Wrangler goes down. Right point, Jack Ivey. Left point, Gagnon. Across for Ben Ivey. Far half wall towards the circle at the dot. Will backpedal. Exchange places with Jack Ivey. Left point. Only Gagnon. Has to work it up ahead, and it glanced off a stick, and the Brahmas will get the clear with exactly a minute remaining on the penalty to Matthias Borak. New bodies come on for the Wranglers. That second power play unit, you got McNaughton, Papaspropoulos, Stepanek, and Zapp, and Jeffers. And here's Jeffers now, deep into Brahma territory. Pivots at the near half wall, gets it to Papaspropoulos. He's quickly contested by Murakami. Jeffers able to weasel it away from the pile, and shadowing him is Murakami, trying to get that puck away. Left point, Papaspropoulos tries to dance around the defense of Ivan Zadvornyuk. Get some help from Stepanek to try and keep the puck in the zone, and they do. Left side, McNaughton across, looking for Zapp. Pass was too far behind him. He corrals that puck, though, as Zapp to right point for Jeffers. 13 seconds remaining on the power play. Left point, Papaspropoulos to the line for Jeffers. Right side, Zapp down low. McNaughton across, and nobody was home. Ivan Zadvornyuk will pick up that loose puck and send it down. Oh, man. Seemed like that was a bit of a quick play from McNaughton. If he just turned and maybe shot it towards the net, he might have had a goal there. Instead, he was looking for a trailer back door, but there was none to be had. We're back to 5-on-5. Wranglers come up empty-handed on the power play for the third time this night. Puck goes out of play with 1:54 remaining in the third period. Shots are 28-22 in favor of the visiting Brahmas. So this next draw will be in the near circle of the Brahmas zone. You get the Wranglers' first line out there. Ivy brothers, McDonald, DeMarco, and Doherty on the blue line. For Lone Star, looks like you got that Brock James line. It's Tess and Masick. Wranglers win the draw. Doherty twirls at the left point, gets it down low for McDonald. Trying to slide away from the pressure, work it back out towards the slot. Pinballs around for a moment as Jack Ivey comes away with the puck on the near side. Drops it off for McDonald. Shadowing him is Ingles. McDonald loses an edge, and Brahmas are going to come away with the puck here and get it back out to center. Right side, Justin Kerr moves around Doherty. Below the goal line. James towards the middle, and making a quick save with his stick is McDonough. Goes into the Wranglers bench. They'll stop the clock with 1:19 remaining in regulation. Well, we knew, right? We knew that this was going to come right down to the wire. It wouldn't be a Wranglers game if it didn't. So we'll see if the Cardiac Kids can do it once again. Wranglers seem well equipped to win games like this. Toughest task yet against a very formidable opponent in the Lone Star Brahmas. It'll be Zapp against McDonald in the far circle of the Wranglers zone for this next draw. And off that draw, Lone Star is able to corral it. Looked like Amarillo was trying to burst out of their own zone. It goes down low for Zadvornyuk. Far corner, has it on his backhand. On his forehand, drops it off for McDonald. Like they weren't on the same page as the Wranglers are able to get it back out to center. Thierry fires it in from the red line. Goes around towards the near side wall. Handled by Williams. Dropped off for Gagnon. Under a minute to go in this one. Gagnon from center ice. Drops it deep into Brahma territory. Puukkonen after it. Loses an edge. Back up to his feet. Brahmas come away with the puck. Far side wall. Fans get loud. Wranglers on the forecheck trying to keep it in. And looks like the puck is going to squeak back out to center. Coming away with it, Ivan Zadvornyuk into Wrangler territory. High slot, shoots! Goes off a body. It looks like McDonough might have tried to cover it, but instead, Roman Zapp sweeps it out of his own zone. Brahmas get the puck here, right side. It's Brock James, shoots, and he misses. And it's picked up by Papaspropoulos. He will escape his own zone here. Trying to do it all himself as the rest of his line mates go off for a change. Here's James once again, right side, tries to get a shot away, and he fumbled the puck at the last second. 3, 2, and 1. We're headed to overtime. For the Wranglers, it'll be the second straight game featuring extra time. That last game against New Mexico ended up in a 2-1 overtime loss where Yusaku Ando scored in the extra frame to give New Mexico that extra point. So high drama here from the Budweiser Bull Pen. What else is new? We knew this was going to happen, right? I mean, should have put the over/under on goals at call it. Coming into the game, I would have put it at 3.5, but all jokes aside, both head coaches drawing things up here on the whiteboard at the benches. You got Dan Wildfong for the Brahmas, Ryan Anderson, head coach of the Wranglers. It looks like the Brahmas, every time that they've gone to overtime, the game has ended in a shootout. It's like the Brahmas are 2-1 in shootouts. None of their games have ended in overtime. For the Wranglers, on the other hand, this is a team that's played a lot of games in the extra frame, as the Wranglers in overtime are 4-2. So this will be their 7th overtime outing this season. Let's see who gets the job done here tonight. If you're listening in on our YouTube audio feed, maybe put your pick as to who's going to score the OT winner down in the chat box. A lot of good picks out there on both sides, really. There's a reason these are two of the top teams in the division right now. And when it comes down to games like this, both teams have been able to find ways to win. So it looks like the Wranglers are going to field the usual starting 3 for overtime. You got the Ivy twins with Nolan Gagnon. They will talk things over at their own blue line. We'll see who Lone Star goes out with to start the overtime session. Looks like Ray Murakami is going to be out there for Lone Star. We'll see who joins him to start the overtime session. Looks like you got Zadvernyuk and Jacob McDonald out there with Murakami to round out the Brahmas 3 skaters in overtime. So we're underway from the extra frame. Brahmas come away with the puck off the opening draw, and by all accounts, they'll get the first crack at it offensively here in OT. Zadvernyuk skates it into the neutral zone, drifting towards his left. Will backpedal at the red line. Go to cross for Murakami. He'll gain Wranglers ice. Drop pass in the fray is McDonald towards the goal. Poke checked away by McDonough. Now Nolan Gagnon has it. Left side. He starts the breakout for Amarillo. Waiting in his own zone is Ben Ivy. He receives that puck from Gagnon as the Wranglers backpedal here. Off comes Murakami. On comes Atiri. For the Wranglers, off comes Gagnon. In comes Jeffers. Got Jack Ivy cherry picking at the Brahma blue line. Pass goes up ahead for him. Can't handle it. Atiri takes it away. Brock James waits at his own blue line. Surveys the scene. He will now gain center red. Now Wranglers blue. Right side. Brock James below the circle. Now behind the net. Pops out on the far side. Circling around. Button hooks at the left point. Retreats back out to center. 3:45 remaining in the overtime session. Justin Kerr in center red. Now Wranglers blue. Gets it poke checked away by Zapp, but it's picked up by Atiri. Left side. Pivots at the corner. Turns it over to Zapp, who is able to muscle Brahmas back out towards the neutral zone. Atiri goes off. On comes Murakami. Kerr goes off. On comes Zadvernyuk. The Wranglers, Gagnon comes back on. Papaspropoulos and Zapp also out there. 2-on-1 here for the Brahmas. Right side. Murakami dangles towards the middle. And it goes through this everybody there, and the Wranglers go on the other way. Papaspropoulos stops towards the slot, shoots, and a save made by Rolovs. 3:09 to go in overtime. Something has got to give. Well, it feels like one of those games where whoever comes out on the losing end really didn't deserve to lose here tonight, as both teams have played quite well here in this game. But somebody's got to come away with that extra point. With both teams knocking on the door here, it'll be an offensive zone draw for the Wranglers. To the left of Deves Rolovs, far circle of the Brahmas zone. McNaughton wins it, gets it to Gagnon. Takes it across from McNaughton, shoots, and it goes off the glass. Puukkonen has it behind the Brahmas net. Shadowing him is McDonald. Puukkonen able to squeak free of the pressure. Gets it back out to Nolan Gagnon, who's waiting for it in his own zone. Plays it up for McNaughton. Exchanges with Gagnon. Center ice, drifts into the Brahmas zone. Gagnon with speed towards the circle. Across, looking for McNaughton, and they just couldn't connect. Gagnon looking for Puukkonen, and the pass goes astray. Boy, if those passes were just a few inches towards their mark, this game would have been over. Topi Puukkonen behind his own net. Drops it off for Kyle DeMarco. Puukkonen towards the right, who goes off. Now on Jack Ivey, Ben Ivey on the left wing. DeMarco still with it. Kerr applying the heat. Jack Ivey from his own zone. Drifts towards the middle. Goes left side for DeMarco. Goes off the wall and in front of him, and that will be an icing on the Wranglers with 2:12 to go in the OT session. So this draw will be in the Wranglers zone. Lone Star will field the trio of Masick, Zadranyuk, and Murakami. Wranglers got the Ivy twins out there with DeMarco. Draw will be in the near circle of the Wranglers zone. Both teams already picking up a point here tonight. Only thing in question is who will get the extra one, as Ben Ivey wins the defensive zone draw. Gets it to Kyle DeMarco. From behind his zone net. Will scout the area. Try and think about what he wants to do here. He's dropping off for Ben Ivey, who starts a left side breakout. Now goes back to the middle for DeMarco. Stretch pass connects with Jack Ivey. Left point. Sandwiched by a few Brahmas, but goes below the goal line. After it is Ben Ivey. Coming away from the pile, Charlie Masick exchanges with Murakami. And now he will wait behind his own goal with under 2 minutes to go in overtime. Murakami, left side, finds Kerr. Dangles trying to go around Jeffers. Jeffers stood firm, directs him towards the far side wall. Held in at the blue line by Kerr. Justin Kerr spinning around, has to retreat back towards center. Both teams very cautious here in overtime, something that we're starting to see across hockey. There's a lot of coaches throughout hockey have started to figure out how to approach 3-on-3 overtime. There's Murakami. Right side, Brock James into offensive territory. High slot, shot! Save made by McDonough. Loose puck is picked up by Drew Jeffers, and he'll drop it back for Papaspropoulos. Under a minute to go here in overtime. Left side, Papaspropoulos finds Zapp. Gains center red. Pivots at the blue line, now enters the attacking zone, but he's met by Atiri, and the Brahmas will now have possession. Jacob McDonald, the Brahmas' only goal scorer. Wait behind his own net, drop it off for Bergeron, who gets it back to McDonald. Center ice, skates over the center ice logo. Right side, McDonald. Drifts towards the left point. Pivots there and goes back out towards center. Seems like the Brahmas might be content to just let this thing go towards a shootout. As McDonald back into his own zone, drops it off. And the Brahmas skated through center. Puck is stolen away in the slot, bounces around for a moment. Wranglers get it up ahead as Topi Puukkonen. 6 seconds to go. Driving towards the net, Puukkonen on his backhand, can't rip it off, and looks like we're headed to the shootout. All right, well, 65 minutes, not enough. Wranglers and Brahmas headed towards the shootout. And this one looks like it'll end in the skills competition. Really, a lot of people in hockey seem to be split on whether or not the shootout should be kept or not. For now in hockey, it stays. Although I've seen a lot of petitions to make 3-on-3 overtime 10 minutes. I know in the ECHL it's a 7-minute period, and really it seems it worked out a lot or as intended over in the E, as a lot of games ending more often in overtime than shootouts. So if you really don't want things to go to the shootout, maybe just extend it to a longer period of time in overtime. But that's a conversation for another time. We got to stay focused here, as looks like this one's going to end in the shootout. Wranglers playing in 2 shootout games so far this season. They came away with a victory in each of them. Remember that game against Corpus Christi here in the season opener at the Budweiser Bull Pen, where the Wranglers came away with a 5-4 victory. And most recently, when over in Oklahoma, the Wranglers won a shootout game over there against the defending champion. So they're 2-0 in the shootout. As I mentioned before, Brahmas 2-1 in the shootout this season. So both teams faring quite well. It'll be Anthony Capello starting things out for Lone Star as he skates out towards center ice, picks up the puck, and drifts towards his left. Very cautiously moves into the slot. Capello towards his right now, towards the middle, and he'll shoot it wide. So Anthony Capello, very cautious approach. Doesn't work out for him all too well as he missed the net on that opportunity. Trying to get in real tight and close with McDonough. Didn't go. Nolan Gagnon, newly appointed assistant captain, will work his way towards center ice. He'll be the first shooter for Amarillo. Skates into it with speed, moves towards his right. Moves in, backhand shot, and he scores! Nolan Gagnon might have just pulled a Kucherov, as it looked like he was trying to cut his way back towards the net, lost a handle on it. Didn't matter, as it goes through the wickets of Deves Rolovs, and Nolan Gagnon gets the first goal of the shootouts. So Wranglers have the 1-0 edge after the first frame. Now Justin Kerr, next shooter for Lone Star. Another cautious approach between the circles, shoots, and a glove save by McDonough. Connor McDonough stones Justin Kerr, as Wranglers with a goal here will win the shootout. Topi Pukkanen will be the next shooter for Amarillo. Pukkanen slowly towards his left. Moves in towards the net. Pukkanen shoots and scores! Topi Pukkanen wins it for the Wranglers in a shootout. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Smiles all around as the Wranglers come away with the victory, 2-1 in the shootouts. The Cardiac Kids have done it again. Wranglers somehow find a way to win. As we talked about it earlier on, whichever team that comes away with the loss here in this game didn't necessarily deserve to lose. The Wranglers come out on top. Took a shootout to do it. And this was a full team effort here tonight to take down the Lone Star Brahmas, the leading team in the South Division here tonight, as the Wranglers will gather at the center ice circle, slap their sticks, and salute a spirited Budweiser Bull Pen crowd in what was one of those games where you just say, what a game. What a game. And for Ryan Anderson, that's got to feel good, picking up his first win against Dan Wildfong. Does it in dramatic fashion. Seems to be customary for the Wranglers around these parts. As we see a couple fellas hugging Ryan Anderson down by the tunnel. Got a smile on his face, and deservedly so. Wranglers really stuck in it throughout the entire game. And this is one of those ones where you're going to think about it for a while. Really, for both sides. It's one of those games that really just gets you thinking. Think about it when you go to bed. But tomorrow, you got to think towards a new day, because we're going to be right back here. 7:15 puck drop, 7 o'clock pregame show for another matchup between the Wranglers and the Brahmas. Wranglers postgame show starts now. And I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight, either on NATV or our YouTube audio stream. Always appreciate having you. What a game it was. And, you know, sometimes you don't have to have a lot of scoring to be able to say that at the end of the night. Sometimes you just need a good old-fashioned 2-1 game to really get you thinking and saying, you know, maybe if something bounces towards another team's way, maybe it's a different outcome. And for the Brahmas, I really think back to that one moment, I believe it was in the first or second period, it might have been the first period, where Brahmas rang a shot off the post, and it was just inches away from going into the back of the net. For the Wranglers, I think about Connor McNaughton on the doorstep down in the late stages of the third period. Just looking for a trailer back door instead. Might have been able to fling that shot on goal. Instead, tried to go for the trailer back door option. Nobody was home. That could have given the Wranglers the victory in regulation. What actually happens is the Wranglers win 2-1 in the shootout. As if we just sat here and talked about what ifs all night long, I might just spend the night here and stay here until tomorrow night. And I don't want to do that. So we'll get to the scoring recap right now. So the first goal of the game comes from Alex Papaspropoulos with 5:06 to go in the first period. Papaspropoulos gets the goal, but I think Topi Pukkanen should maybe be given a half a goal on that. He picks up the assist because Pukkanen he's so strong on the puck this season. He's trying to muscle his way towards the net, try and drive the net. Ends up getting taken down. Puck is loose in between the circles, and Papaspropoulos just picks up that puck and says, yeah, I'll do the dirty work. And he puts it home, and between the legs of Dees, Rolovs beats him for the first goal of the game. That was the only goal in the first period. Not a lot of penalties in this game either, so there was only one in the first period. One on each side in the second. And looks like in the third period there was one penalty against Lone Star. So Wranglers go 0 for 3 on the power play in this game. Brahmas go 0 for 1. Back to the scoring recap. In the second period, the Brahmas get their first and only goal of regulation. Came 7:52 remaining in the second period. It's a shorthanded goal. You got to give a lot of credit towards the Brahmas here. They were very aggressive here, shorthanded. You got to give a lot of credit to Justin Kerr. There's another one of those goals where Jacob McDonald picks up the goal, but it seems like Justin Kerr really did all the hard work. As just kind of skating around in the Wranglers zone, possessing the puck shorthanded. He's able to pop out on the near side behind the Wranglers goal, centered out in front, where he waiting Jacob McDonald to tap it home. Just say fire it home. It's a pretty hard shot. And he beats Connor McDonough for the Brahmas' only goal of the game, and that ties us up at 1. And that's where we stood for the rest of regulation, for the rest of overtime. And so that sends us to a shootout. So in comes Anthony Capello for the Brahmas, shooting first. He gets stopped. Well, I guess I shouldn't even say stopped. He missed the net. He misses the net. Brahmas have an X on the board. Wranglers take the other way. And it's so fitting for Nolan Gondon in his first game as an assistant captain to score in the shootout for the Wranglers. Look, he's trying to pull all the moves in tight on Rolovs. Ends up losing the puck at the last second, but doesn't matter because it goes through the wickets of Rolovs and ends up in the back of the net. So that gives the Wranglers the 1-0 edge in the first frame of the shootout. Moves to that second frame. And it's Justin Kerr moving in on McDonough, and a glove save from Connor McDonough. Brahmas now have 2 X's on the board. Next goal for the Wranglers could be a winner if they score. It's Topi Pukkanen. We've seen him do it before, and he does it again as he beats Rolovs. Give the Wranglers a 2-0 edge in the 3-man shootout, and that's it. That's all she wrote. Wranglers win 2-1 in the shootout. Both teams played hard. You got to give a lot of credit to the Brahmas. They came here to play. Of course, it seems to be the memo for them night in and night out. Dan Wildfong, one of the best coaches in this league, has his team ready to play every single night. Tonight was no different. As the Lone Star Brahmas, in a tight game, low-scoring game, are bested by the Amarillo Wranglers, who fought hard. Wranglers fought hard throughout the course of this game. Did not let this game slip away from them. And really, that was the thing that happened at NYTEX in the first 2 games of the season series, where the Brahmas came away victorious in both of those games. Lone Star was able to score the first goal of the game, really dictate the terms throughout the rest of it. Wranglers found themselves behind in the third period and just couldn't climb back. And really, you're not going to do that against a Lone Star Brahmas team that's really solid defensively. So one of those ones where the Wranglers got the first goal of the game, ended up relinquishing their lead in the second period, but held firm. I mean, they played a full 60 minutes and then some. And really, that's what's going to take to win against good teams, win against the Brahmas. They'll be able to play a full 60 minutes, 65 if needed, take care of business in the shootout. And that's exactly what the Wranglers did. So Amarillo this season will improve to 12, 6, 2, and 0. Picked up points 25 and 26 on the year. And the Brahmas will fall to 15, 6, 0, and 2. They'll pick up point 32 on the year, so not a big loss for the Brahmas here tonight. Still pick up a point, and they're still well ahead for first in the South Division. So let's just take a look at the South Division standings here before we sign off. Actually, look at some scores from around the league before we do, just to see what it all means. And so, looks like over in Shreveport, we got a final. The Jackalopes come away with a 2-0 victory over the Shreveport Mudbugs. Oh, Brahma fans are going to like that one. Mudbugs are blanked, and Odessa comes away with the victory. That's good news for the Wranglers as they build upon their lead over Shreveport so far in the division. As looks like Oklahoma Warriors put a touchdown on the Corpus Christi Ice Rays at Blazers Ice Center. Final score 7-1 over there. And the New Mexico Ice Wolves have a 3-1 lead over the Colorado Grit in the bottom of the second period. So if New Mexico wins, they will make up that ground that the Wranglers just gained on them here tonight. Oklahoma winning here tonight, remain tied with Amarillo for third in the division. And El Paso is idle here tonight. The Rhinos are not in action. Wranglers will see them next weekend. So that sets the stage for a pretty exciting matchup here tomorrow night. And if you're not here at the Budweiser Bull Pen, which we've got a lot going on here tomorrow night, tell you what, sod poodles tonight. We're celebrating women's hockey tomorrow night. Should be a good crowd, good amount of fun here in this building. So if you're not able to get your tickets at panhandletickets.com, not able to come down and hang here in arena with us, come on over to our broadcast on NATV and our YouTube audio stream. 7 o'clock pregame show, 7:15 puck drop. Brahmas, Wranglers will do it again for the 4th time this season. Well, I'm going to sign off here, but it was a spirited affair. Both teams vying for that second point here tonight. Wranglers come away with the victory in the shootout. Wranglers win 2-1 in the shootout. Now Guy Chiarenza saying good night, so long, sleep tight. He's got a big game tomorrow between the Brahmas and the Wranglers. Guy Chiarenza saying so long,